Trust the profits is the formula here. And yeah, welcome to the cocktail lounge. Just me right now.
Love to see it. Love to see it. See it.
Indeed. Just going to hit on X here that we are now live. Yeah, just get a little quote repost here. All right, people are starting to trickle in. We got race one coming up in just a few minutes. Looks like 5 minutes to post. I've got an idea what I want to do in mind. I want to try to beat Sweet Chablis. I agree with Caitlin Free here. She has that as her underlay to beat. I'm in total agreement. You guys tell me what you think in the chat session. I think I know what I'm going to do for a nice little simple wager. Yeah, let's see. I've got an idea in mind, but if you guys got something, feel free to hit me in the comments, and then I'll punch in my bet. All right, let me get this out here. We are now alive. All right, posting that on X. Let's have ourselves a pretty good time here. So let's read through race one. So we got it on the screen there. No scratches in race one. We're going 8 furlongs on dirt. The purse is 58K. It is a 20K claimer race. 8 horses up here. The morning line favorite, Sweet Chablis at 2-1, is now currently posted at 7-5. They got 4 minutes to go here. Sweet Chablis, yeah, I mean, got some of the best races recently. I get that. But I can definitely look at a few other horses here. My highest horse is Wits and Wagers, opened up at 3-1, currently at 5-2. I like the Union Rags, Victoria Oliver, Corrales is the jockey. Obviously got Saez on the 5, so it's tough to beat him. He's the best jockey in this race, in my opinion. I'm sure you can make an argument for Corrales, Machado, and Martin Garcia, but I still got Luis Saez as the top one here. Definitely a nice little class drop for the 5, right? If we're looking at class, the horse has been last class value 130K, last 5 been averaging 60K in terms of purse size. But yeah, I'm going to go with the 4 here. Got 3 minutes to post. And I think we got some comments here. Yeah, okay. So Bobby D, you're going 4-6-1 exacta box with a win on the 1. Hey, you're getting some good value on the 1. I was looking over in that way as well. Yeah, got some people coming in here. Let's win some money. Poppy, I'm with you. Hey, what's up? How did you do on Derby Day? No, I didn't. Uncle Sully. I went against the grain of some of my brethren, and I liked his Tastic and Final Gambit, but they apparently did not like to win on that day. Brothers who went with Sovereignty and Journalism did much better. All right, so I'm going to punch this in real quickly here. How many minutes we got here? 2. It's going to do something a little trickier. I think I still can. Just which way to do it. Looking at the tip sheet here, crossing you off. Maybe go with you. Yeah, okay. 4 was 7. No, 6 or the 1. 6 or the 1. That's the tricky part here. So if Bobby D, you got 4 and 6 in there. George, good. Can't wait for race day to save my life. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let me get back to this here. All right, so my pick is going to be in a second here. X key box. What? 4. Whew. Let me go by my numbers here. All right, so if I go to media, so that's here. Pick is in. I forgot to put a price on that, so we'll do exacta key box here at $2 with the 4, 1, and 7. 4 being my key, 1 and 7 come in any other position. So if I do a key box there, that'd be normally $4 on a 1. So we're going to do it for 8. 8 being the total price there, 2 being the base price. So I'm just going to put that in. And yeah, 0 minutes to post. It looks like we're going to be loading up. Going to try to beat that 5, guys. Going to try to beat that 5. Whew. Derby pick came in second. and third. Okay. Yeah, sorry, Bobby. Came in close. Came closer than I did. I was shooting for the sky there. Missed over on Razor Gen. CB4U to win. All right. All right. Welcome into the lounge here. Jenny Mac, Chucky. All right. Let's get up here. Okay. Looks like we're starting to load up here. 8 furlongs on dirt. Doing my best to stretch this out with you guys. Maybe I'll even share what the tip sheet looks like here. All right, you got 147. All right. Hey, similar to me. Similar to me. Let's do it. Let's do it. Derby played out exactly how I thought. Would have been nice. 24. Thought it'd be nice 24-1 exact. Hot Rod Horse Player, well done. Well done. There are a few of us guys who hit that here. When I say us, I don't mean me. El Hombre hit something. I know Colin hit something. Tim was doing well. A lot of these guys were good. It looks like we're off. The one gets a clear shot out there, hitting the rail early. There was a little bit of bumping in the middle. One is settling in nicely. The 6 is dashing out in front. And the 3. By the way, anyone who called me out on having a horrible Derby call, I get it. It was pretty bad. It was tough to call with all that mud caked up on the horse. It's hard to tell them apart, but we'll see if I can do better going forward here. Yeah, let me go back to my picks. Show those up here. Looks like the 1 is out in front here. Argon with Jackie's Love. Horse coming off a 260-day rest there. Coming in next to him is the 5 horse. So it's going to be 1, 3, and 5 as we start to hit. Where's that quarter? You're going to give me the quarter anytime soon here. 1, 5, 3 falling back a little bit. 6 is on the rail behind the 1, about a length off there. Now the 1 and 5 are dashing off. Sweet Chablis. I was trying to beat Sweet Chablis here. Doesn't look like that's going to pay out for me unless there's a major fade coming on, but Sweet Chablis looks pretty strong here. Starting to pass that 1 there, putting 3 lengths out in front. Now putting about a length out in front there on that turn. We need the 7 and the 4 to wake up and do something here. What is going on, people? Sweet Chablis getting out in front there, and I think this is going to be all Sweet Chablis. Unless we got some significant closers here, but they're going to have to close from a long way out. Sweet Chablis is stretching it out. Looks like Caitlin and I were wrong here. Argon's still out there looking to grab second, but Wits and Wagers is coming on to grab that away from him most likely. I'm guessing this is going to end up 5, 4, and 1. 5, 5, 4, and 1. Yeah, so there you go. Try to beat Sweet Chablis, and she beats you. I think that was a she. These were fillies. I believe so. Anyone out there have that? Anyone out there take the chalk? Looks like Jenny Mac, you had 1, 2, 4. It looks like a lot of us were trying to beat Sweet Chablis and unfortunately laying a stinker there. Oh, well. Yeah. What can you do? What can you do?
Duval.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. All right. There you go, Sweet Chablis. I didn't see any splits there. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. See what comes up on that 8 furlong race. Sweet Chablis looking the best there. 5, 4, 1, 3, 8. My 7. What happened to the 7 there? You get locked up in the gate. Yeah, a little bit of a bump there. Yeah, the 1 should have been much better. Had a clear path to the rail there. Oh, well. Best horse won. All right, anyone out there with a win? I did not see anyone post the 5 at all going into this. I think we were all thinking the same thing. Hot Rod Horse Player can't wait for ASD next week. Yes, so let's see. We got 39 people in here right now. Yeah, we can announce this more times over the rest of the evening here, but we are going ahead with a partnership with ASD again, similar to last year, but I'm going to throw this out here. Their race days are different this year. Actually, let me share this out to you guys. It's going to look a little wonky here, but might as well do my best. Where's the share button? All right, share screen. All right, so this is what Assiniboia Downs looks like. There we go. So all these spots in red here, those are race days. So you can see most of the race days are Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Then after 3 weeks here, then it goes every third week they run on a Monday. All right. So this is Assiniboia Downs going forward. So they're going to be running a lot of 2 race weeks and then a few 3 race weeks, stretching it out. They said they got the same amount of races. They're just stretched out a little bit differently this year. And so just to make things a little bit simpler this year for Trust the Profits, we toyed around with possibly doing Mondays when they're up and then Tuesdays. So we get at the start of the week, but we just decided to make things simple to just do Tuesdays going forward. So here's the Assiniboia calendar: 13, 20, 27, May, June, July, August, September, and all the way up to October. We'll be doing lives for Assiniboia. So there you go, guys. Feel free to tune in. It's much like the lounge, except it's Assiniboia every Tuesday. And we'll try to throw out those reminders so you guys know when they're going to have races on Monday. So there you have it. All right, let me take that off there. All right, threw $10 on the one. I get it back because finished third. Hey, that's a great deal with TwinSpire. I saw that posted when I pulled up their feed. Not a bad deal, especially on a race like that where it was 8 horses and you get the third place horse, you get the money back. Second place horse, you get the money back. And the numbers on Argon, I mean, I saw some value in that horse too at 7-1. I thought that looked like a pretty good wager. So well done, Pappy. At least you get it back and you could try again next race, right? Not too shabby. Okay, guys. Yeah, we just got through the Derby and starting to roll in with a few people in the lounge here. Oh, let me get smaller face going here. There we go. Anyone out there got sovereignty in journalism? Oh, here we go. George, Derby Day keyed the 8 and the 18 for 300 on different bets and was too stupid to box them together. That sucks. Well, yeah, we've all been there, right? Holy cow. Number of times that I wished that I boxed something or played something completely different. I mean, there's there's so many different ways to screw up in horse racing, right? You could be the best handicapper in the world, but if you are not as keen at putting together a wager, that's like the two parts, the two tricks to handicapping, or to playing horses, I should say. You can handicap, you can get all the right horses, but it's the positioning and making sure you place the bet properly that can sometimes get you, because you look at it and you think, oh yeah, I'm going to try to utilize the favorite to the best of my ability, right? If you want to play the favorite. So that's when you start getting tricky and you start doing key boxes and you start doing all these other little tricks and gadgets and goodies out there. But yeah, you try to maximize it. And if you do something just off a little bit, then you regret it afterwards, even though you had the right plays. Better luck next time. All right, so that exacta did not pay out that much. Looks like 7.5 trifecta, 7.5 on a $1 exacta, 15.14 on a 2, 24.58 on the trifecta. So a little bit of a chalky race there, which is what we were trying to beat. Unfortunately, it beat us. Yeah. Uncle Sully had meager win bets on the exacta and sovereignty, but the majority of the bets were on Final Gambit. Oh, who floor checked into the valet parking lot. Yeah. Final Gambit, what did he end up there? 4th, 5th? He ended up 4th. He finished ahead of Owen Almighty, right? So he finished in the superfecta. Tistastic is the one that I'm most upset about, because that was the horse that I was putting out there as my win bet. Yeah, that didn't work out exactly how I thought it would, but yeah, kudos to everyone that was hot on sovereignty. When I look at the slides that we were playing, if I go through that, we had I mean, even though I wasn't the one that did this, I am pretty happy or proud of the guys here at Trust the Profits. When we go through this, see if I can get to the round table here. God, there are a lot of horses. Yeah, when we go back to this, and obviously here's my win for Tistastic here at number 14. Let me take this off here. Under sovereignty, both Sean and Colin had him in the win column. I had him in the money column here. So I think in general, pretty good showing. All of us had journalism in the money. So I think in general, and of course, Baeza, we didn't have it all. And someone even called us out on that. Hey, what about the 21 horse? Like, well, what are you going to do? Got 20 horses. Why would we put a 21st horse in? I mean, what are the chances he's going to run? I mean, history doesn't show us that horse runs, right? Yeah, so we were wrong in not putting him in. Probably should have talked through him and put him in there, assuming that he was going to run and put some sort of distinction on him. But we were looking at the time of what we knew about the 20 horses in the race. We all had Owen Almighty as a toss here. And yeah, Owen Almighty ran the best race who didn't win, sat 5 wide and still ran 5th. I mean, I feel like I was cheerleading, and this happened to me with Tistastic part of the year too. I felt like I was cheerleading Owen Almighty from Sam F. Davis to the Tampa Bay Derby and on to his next race, which was the Bluegrass, I believe. Call me out if I'm wrong. That's what my memory tells me. And as soon as he lost the Bluegrass, I'm like, okay, finally, I'll give in to everybody that says he doesn't have enough and he's going to sit on the pace and he's going to get burned out. And East Avenue is going to burn him out. And East Avenue is going to be the one that's there if it's anyone. And like, okay, I give in. I give in. That's what the Bluegrass showed us. I'll go along with it. You had the trainer out there saying that, think you should probably be going to the Pat Day Mile. Yeah. And then I kind of got off the Owen Almighty train. But man, I was super happy to see him hold on for 5th. I'm with you on that, Hot Rod. I think that was a really strong showing for him. Of all the pace setting horses out there, of all the horses that were hot on that pace, he was the one that sustained the longest and actually got up there for a top 5. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that. All right. Bappy. It's the Derby. Made your bet. Also made Tim and Ombre. All right. All right. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. All right, Poppy. Well done. You were the smart one there. You you covered a lot of ground. Malatot did some stupid bets and is loading. I was like, you've loved Sovereignty since Street Sense. Bet him. So I did $100 to win. Finally pick a winner. Ooh, damn. That is hot. And Sovereignty, Sovereignty at 7-1. We all talk about, you got to get a double-digit horse. There's only a few that are single digits. Those are the chalk. But man, 7-1, that's not chalk. That's good. That's good. We all wish we could have Sovereignty at 7-1 going forward. Am I right? Holy cow. Yeah. Yeah. All right. 17 minutes to the next race. And I am just talking to myself out here. It is lovely. Let's start. I guess we could start capping through the next one. And holy crap, it's a bunch of maidens and firsters here. All right, guys, we got 17 minutes to post here. 47 of you in here, 47 people with all sorts of opinions. Got a maiden special weight race coming up here on dirt. It is 5 furlongs, 92K purse. Yeah, going 5 furlongs. Who we got in here? Let me do something. Let me pull up the racing form here. Who gives a damn, right? Or actually, no. Let me do it this way. Although we could do it that way. All right, so I'm going to share with you. All right, what else are you saying here? I know why folks fade a horse because of the price. Whatever the price is in the Derby, you'll never get. Yeah, exactly. You'll never get 7-1 on Sovereignty again. I mean, if you do, what kind of race is that? And who's he racing against? You get 7-1, right? Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, the Derby, you just got to go in thinking, if you think that horse is going to win, if you think that's the best horse, go with it, right? I really did like Tistastic a lot, though. I really did, because I was matching up paces and trying to play that game and trying to figure out that angle. And I really liked. I fall in love with the Louisiana Derby the last few years, and you see some of the horses that come out of there, so it makes sense to me. But yeah, it didn't exactly work out for me this year. There's next year, right? You just got to wait a few more days. By a few, I mean like 350 some right now. All right. All right, let me remove this. All right. No. Let me share a screen here. All right. So here is what I got on the tip sheet. And with maiden specials, with a lot of firsters, it's going to be heavily weighted toward any horse that actually has any sort of history at all. So right now we got Gorano Ranch. Wow, these are fun to pronounce. Chambouchan, Woodall Pass, Karoom's Croupier, Sounds Mischievous, Cheekwood Engagement, and She's Mad in that order. Got Woodall Pass and Karoom's Croupier bouncing up a little bit here. Might be good to note that Woodall's Pass, if I'm looking here, probably, yeah, it's probably one that we might pass on. I think just because as a race history, he bumped up a little bit here, but Karoom's Croupier, maybe that one bounces up for us a little bit. Florent Giroux, Palmier being the trainer there. Then you got Corrales here on Sounds Mischievous getting 10-1, trying to figure out if there's any of these firsters that could really fire off here. At 8-1, the lowest odds, Cheekwood on any of the firsters. You got Luan and Ben Colebrook there. What happens if we do this? Let me dive a little bit deeper into the form here. God, that's not fun to read, is it? Let me bounce back through here. Yeah, even though journalism lost, you probably won't ever get 3 to. Yeah, right. 3-1 on journalism. Maybe BC Classic, something like that. You would get 3-1 on journalism, perhaps, depending on who else runs. Yeah, this is the inner workings of my sheet. Doesn't look as interesting if there isn't a whole lot of data here. Definitely looks like the 8 is the one to go with. Little bit you get from Urchin. You see my own personal formula figures in here. My own speed figures. You got the 8 being one that'll be on the pace at 5 furlongs. That might just be enough. JG Funk, good evening to you. How's it going out there? It is just me for right now. Currently, the 8 getting 1-4. So it seems like most people agree. The 10 getting 7-2. Now currently 3-1, 2-5 on the 8. As numbers are changing. Okay, where do we get the value here? So down below here, these are like the last workout times that I've got highlighted. So this horse here, I believe that is the 9 horse, had a 47.4, which gives me a value of 3 there. Yeah, that's the Mischievous. Whoops. Yeah, have fun looking at the spreadsheet, guys. Sounds Mischievous. Yeah, that could be a horse to bet here. So who we got on that? Corrales is on the mount there. Sounds Mischievous. Definitely the 8 seems like the one to beat, though. Even though no one's having any fun with that. Churchill Downs, daily double, 8-12. Okay. What race you starting that off on? Where's the 12 here? Oh, 8-1-2 probably. That's what you mean. Oh yeah, I totally see that. Yeah. Yeah, you got Le Houland, although I like a different horse coming up in race 3. But I get it. It's going to be tough to beat this 8, but you know what? With firsters, you never know. Some of these, like especially at Gulfstream, I feel that seems like the place where the firsters really pop off. There was one today that was the only firster in the race. Didn't think much of him, and all of a sudden he's blowing up my horses that have had some racing history. Fun times. All right. Okay, so who do you guys got out there? Hot Rod is 100% correct. 20 horses is a lot for one race, but benefit the odds are more. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Some years you only get 2 that are single-digit odds. 3 this year? I have to take a look at the Derby notes again to see who else was. Yeah, I could bring that up here. What else are we doing right? All right, Churchill Downs, run on the 3rd. Let's take a look at that race again here, shall we? Yeah. All right, so let's scroll down race 12 here. Yeah, so Sovereignty was 8-1 or 7.95-1. Journalism 3.4, and then at 5-7 you had Sandman 4. You had Luxor Cafe at 8. 8.24 to 1. Yeah, how about that? Admire Daytona, dead last. Yikes. Flying Mohawk, Rendered Judgment, American Promise, Citizen Bowl finished 15th. That surprises me a little bit that he finished so far down. All right, so let's go through here. Bobby D's got 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8 for the current race. So 6, 7, and 8. I like that actually. I like that one a lot because I mean, I'll be honest with you. Does the 10 scare me at all as much as the 8? I mean, you could take a risk on the 10 and the 8 and say, oh, one of them's got to go. Because the odds you're getting. Hey, riders up, Tim. Welcome to the lounge.
Thank you, sir.
We're currently capping race 2. I lost
I was listening a little bit.
You're listening a little bit. Excellent. The one-man show is rocking and rolling here. Now it's a two-man show.
There you go.
So this race, it is a field full of firsters. We have 8 horses. 3 have some sort of history. The one that has the best history, the 8, is getting pounded on the odds as expected.
Yeah.
John Velasquez, Wesley Ward on the 8. Gorano Ranch, currently at 2 to 5. That is the horse that we have to beat. Or we lean into it and accept just awful odds. Maybe key him on top with something. I do like what Bobby D has here. This is very close to what I was thinking because I don't think you compare the 8 and the 10 unless you want to just go ice cold on them 1-2. But I mean, there's horses out here. I think at 41 to 1, the 6 looks better than I think a lot of people are betting. He's got your favorite jockey, Flan Giroux.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously the 8 I think is going to be the favorite. I did have that one on top. I don't like the 10 as much. I know they do like it a little bit on track. I've got it third at best, but I've got a couple others that I really want to even try to get it out of third. I would possibly add it to my third position, but I'll tell you the horse I've got second is the 2. I really like Cheekwood here for Ben Colebrook and Luan Machado. They're doing pretty well, but the Dam. One thing I always look at with first time starters is what has the Dam done underneath, and you know we always look at the sire percentage with first time starters, but the Dam's only had 6, and out of the 6, she's had 2 firsts and 2 thirds.
Oh, how about that?
So 4 of 6 in the money, and 2 of those winners.
Okay.
So pretty strong. Obviously, the Ward horse is going to be tough to beat, but based on that, and you know, decent works and the connections here, I'm going to give this one a shot to finish in the money somewhere. So, and we're getting an okay price on that one. Okay,
absolutely.
Yeah. So and then I also have the 7. The 7 is actually my third horse, and you know, if there's somebody that really his performance hasn't been as good the last year, but if there's somebody who has typically given Ward a run for his money in all those baby races at Keeneland, if you look, Ward is typically in first place historically speaking overall. And if you look in second place, it's Mr. John Hancock. So he knows how to get them ready when they're young. And the thing that I really like is who's the owner here? That would be one Donna Hancock. If he's bringing his own in, he typically knows when to time them and bring it in. And that last work at Keeneland on the 1st of May, that's really keen. 47 and 2, second best of 55 for the day. So I love this the 7 to get a part of it here. I would put the 6 behind the others that I have, and but I can see the 6 potentially being there. But I liked it from the firsters. I like the 2 a whole lot more than the 6 and the 7 more than 6.
Okay. Do you want to take this one, or shall I take this one down and hand you race number 3 since you're coming in?
You can go ahead. You can go ahead since you've already been in and going.
Yeah. Okay. I think I know approximately what I'm going to do here. How much time we got here? 5 minutes. Okay. So I better know what I'm going to do. Yeah, let's go ahead and hit the button. All right. So we'll do a $2 exacta key, not a key box. We're going to go 8 on top with the 2, the 6, and the 7. So that would normally cost you $3 on a $1. For us, it'll cost us $6. I spent $8 on the last one. So I'm trying to leave you guys with plenty of money for the next few races. The last one wasn't a good betting race anyway.
I like it.
Look to be much better since the 8 is garbage. So let me just drop that in and we'll post that up there. So that's what I'm going to do. So the 8 has to come on top here. Second horse can be 2, 6, or 7. And at a base of 3 total. If it's a $2, it'll double back what comes back at $1. So it should be nice. It's got to pay off better because we're not using the 10 at all.
Yeah, looking at the exact probables right now, the 810 is obviously the lowest at 3.6 to 1. But the 7 is second right now, at 7.4, and then the 2. So right there, the 2 is 11 to 1.
We're really hoping for the 6 here, though, aren't we? Come on.
The 6 is 37 to 1. Let's get the 8-6 home. I'm all for it.
8-6 home. Yeah.
Florent Giroux. Come on, Florent.
Come on,
Flo the jock. What's up, my peeps in the chat? I haven't said hello. Hello, Bob Jackson. Hey, Bobby D. JG Funk. Hot Rod. Hello, everyone. We love being back at Churchill. If you watched and were a part of the Saturday festivities, we had a pretty good day.
Yeah, you did. We were talking about that.
I said we.
Hey, I'm including all of you guys in we. I made it perfectly clear to everyone out there in comment land that I was not in on those winnings. You guys were knocking them down much better than I was.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was one of my better handicapping days in a long time, and I was really pleased, and I scored pretty well from a bankroll perspective as well. So,
absolutely, no, I mean you completely should be. And I was. Let me flip to this here. We were going through the slides that we did for Roundtable as well, showing that we had 2 people picking winner on Sovereignty and then straight across in the money on Journalism. Obviously, we didn't do anything with Baeza, but feel pretty good about the way we capped this and the way we went through the full rundown. Obviously, Burnham Square wasn't a factor, and Tistastic was nowhere to be seen. But I do like that we were right about Sovereignty there, 2 out of 4. That's a pretty good win right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I'll be the first to admit, I had Sovereignty in my group of third place horses that I was going to play for third. I was going to play Burnham over Journalism. But on air, if you were there, everybody talked me into it. And basically what I said, and if you go back and watch it, I said basically I was going to play an 8-9-18 with an 8-9-18 with a bunch of horses for third and those same horses for fourth. And amongst those horses was the 3 and the 21. So if you listen to that, you cash the try in the superfecta.
Oof, not bad, not bad. Yeah, I had both those horses underneath, but obviously, as you know, my top play was not correct. Hello, Irene. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Speaking of superfectas, Miss Irene, you hit the big superfecta last week.
Oh, nice, nice. Pull up a chair at the lounge. We are getting ready for race 2. So yeah, just to let you guys know again, we are doing an exact key here at $2. We got the 8, the 2, the 6, and the 7, total of $6 spent. We think that the 8 is going to win, so it is keyed. He is locked in, and it's the first horse at 1 to 2. We're trying to keep this as slim as possible, but we're also adding in the 2, 6, and 7 horses that are going to outbeat the price that we paid for sure, and really hoping we get that 6 in there. That would be pretty sexy. Be a sexy way to start the lounge, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, Curtis, we did hear that, and look, I went back and I've watched the video and dissected it a number of times from another angles in different parts of the race and looking at different horses. And I just don't get it. I mean, I get that that's the rule, but I do not understand a couple of how a couple of extra. I can't even talk tonight. A couple of extra hits with the whip is going to really do anything to the horse when some jockeys within the limits take their whip and like beat the horse in the face. It's like, come on, let's apply the rules in a way that makes sense to the welfare of the horses. And a couple of extra taps on an animal like that with the crop is not going to affect them. But
Still the winner. He's still the winner.
he is.
Junior is.
And a hell of a jockey.
All right, so Bobby D, he's going for a win on the 5 Woodall Pass.
And this is what I
Good luck,
expected
Bobby.
and kind of why I didn't like the 10. I thought Sophie loves to go to the lead. I thought she would get this 10 out there. So we got the 8 now taking over the lead. I hope that we can sustain. We went to the quarter kind of fast, 22-4. 8's got a nose in front. 10 is hanging right there. And they've opened up about 5 on the horses behind them. It looks like Goodall's pass to the outside there has got a nose in front. The 6 is coming. The 6 is coming up on the outside, but he's got work to do. And the 10
got to beat that 10 though.
10 is hanging tough right now.
They're battling each other.
It is going to be 8-10, 10-8. And the 10 looks like Sophie's pulling back away. She's gone.
They grinded each other.
10-8. And how about for third, the 54-1 shot?
The 5 horse?
Yes.
All right, let me update the banner here. I will take 6 off. All right, still got plenty.
And Sophie was game on that horse. And the Ward horse goes 2 for 2 in the 2 position.
Was that going to pay out on the exact 10/8 was worth 8? That's not bad.
No, 8-1. Not horrible with your 2 favorites.
No. 8/10, however, that would have been $3. That would have been not so great.
Nice ride by Sophie.
Yeah, that's a nice ride. That was a battle right there. Got the rail on one side, the 8 on the other, grinding you down.
That's what you want to see in a horse race.
Yeah. Those 2 are much the best.
And Formula, if he goes back and looks at his picks, had an 8-10-5.
I did. But here's the thing with maidens, especially when you've got a race like this. We scratched 2 horses. We're down to 8. So 3 horses and 5 firsters. 3 horses that have run before and 5 firsters. So I'm always trying to look and see which of the firsters is going to beat me. That's what goes through my head.
Right.
Because this was totally gamed to be the horses that have had any sort of run history winning, yeah. But that's not always what happens. And it's really hard to normalize a firster with a horse that's given you some racing history before. And anyhow, you get my mental quandary there. Yeah, congratulations, anyone in the lounge who had that.
So Jenny missed on her exacta, but she had the 10 to win as well. So
hey, good job. 5-2.
What's up, Vince? Yeah, see, it looks like a lot of fading on the 10. So
yeah, it looked like the 1 was going to be the best, but that's why you race. I mean, really hard to tell when both horses just had 1 race to their history, right? It's always difficult to tell. And I'd given a slight edge More than slight to the 8 there, but
I'll tell you, I think I'm gonna start playing against Wesley because his 2-year-olds just haven't been performing like they have in the past. I'm telling you.
yeah, no, we've seen it there, and usually it's something you look for is
Right.
a Wesley Ward 2-year-old in a short race like this.
Yeah,
And
but
once again,
as
didn't
as
happen.
a handicapper, sometimes you want to play against those big favorites at 2 to 5 as well. And how often do we say that no maiden is worth 2 to 5? And
Yeah. All right, we do turn the page here. What else we got there in comment
quickly,
land? Vince Watson, good afternoon. Pull up a chair. Jen, race 2, 210, win 10, win place on 2. Yep, that's the one you just talked through there. Bobby D, hopefully you got a refund on that. I know there's certain races. I think it's the next race, though, that has the next refund if you're using Twin Spires. I could be wrong, though. All right. Yeah, we do turn the page, don't we? Let's see. 22 minutes to post on the next race, which goes 8.5 furlongs on dirt. 92K purse, maiden special weight. We have no firsters in this one to throw off my mental formulas. So that helps. Got some time to think about it. 7 horses in the race. Various abilities. I do have a horse on top that, yeah, there's a whole bunch of horses in here. 5 of the 7 are between 2 to 1 and 5 to 1. Like there's finding value in this race at the morning line seems to be complicated, but the horse I have on top is currently getting a really nice number.
yeah, I thought this race was kind of competitive at the top, and I think you can make a case for a few of them here.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see what you think. One thing that I thought was interesting as I go through maiden
Yes.
races, and you were talking about everybody has raced. One thing I like to just kind of glance at is the money that the horses have taken in the past and who's been a
Oh,
favorite. You
yeah.
don't see a single asterisk on this page. Not one horse has been a favorite and on top early on.
Well, how about that?
That's kind of
We got
interesting.
one.
And Joseph, to
Yeah.
answer your question, yes, we will. We will be on for the whole card.
Yes. Yeah, I started early so we could get the whole card in. Another interesting thing about this race, Tim, is we have 6 of the 7 horses here are 3 to 3.25 years old. So pretty darn young. And then
Right.
you have one horse that is 4 1/5 years old. So
Yes.
we've got one horse that is a little bit older here, and that is actually my favorite.
The 5.
Currently getting 12 to 1, the 5. La Bombo. This horse has been all over the map.
I like a horse. Let me see here. That yeah, we're still getting a good price on mine. I didn't expect that, and I'm being sarcastic, but you'll see here in a second. It's like every week I come in here and I'm like, yes, I got a horse I like. I think I'm gonna get a price, and it's like, what the hell?
It's funny how that happens.
But it is interesting, when you go through and you handicap a race like I did here, and
Yeah.
I always handicap with morning line odds turned off on the daily
Yeah.
racing forums. I don't want that to affect how I look at the
It's skew.
horses. So I go through and I look at them, and then I turn it on, and I'm like, all right, I love a 5 to 1 shot. I expected 5 to 1, not 5 to 2. But you handicap it without the odds, and even once they're up there, it's like, okay, it's still not one of the favorites. So it's pretty interesting though when you handicap and like something, and then it ends up taking money, and others kind of see the same things, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because you think about it, right? There's someone setting those odds there, but then there's a whole bunch of people judging it. You get enough of them seeing the same thing, that's when
Yeah.
you see the public money take over. 8.5 furlongs. Got a whole bunch of closers in this race. I think if you're going to look for any horse to set the pace in this one, it's going to be the 7, Free Spin. That one looks to me to be the most pace forward. Every other horse, it's like not even close to the pace. And that horse has only run once before and was in a slightly stalking position. For most of the race, pace tendency, I've got him as being like a -2 to a 2 to 3 lengths off the lead type situation in the pace.
Yeah, and just to back that up, I mean,
Yeah.
I love the 7. That's obviously the one I was talking about when you talk
Yep.
about 5-1 to 5-2. And
Oh,
one of
was
the
it?
things, yes, and one of the things that I absolutely love about the horse, and there are a few things here, but one of the things that I wrote down was and I've got a question mark, but I'm put, lone speed question mark, and but I don't see anybody else here that has a hint that they want to go out there.
Right.
And I
I
think
think
especially getting Saez up, I mean, that was one of the things that I noted. It's like Saez gets on board and he can definitely run a horse on the front end. So I like it. I like the
yeah.
7 up here.
So I'm gonna say that I did not have that horse high, but again, we're talking about maidens here, and we talked about firsters last race because it was loaded up with 5 firsters. Then the next deadliest thing is the horse that's run in one race, and you making a complete decision off of numbers from that one race the first time they ever get out there, and who knows what they're doing, right? They could have bumped into the gate, they could have been running backwards, they could have run into the grandstand to get a hot dog or something. We've seen it all before. So you never know what happens the second or even the third time. The third time is usually what I look for, especially in a maiden race. Like if their scores, if their speed figures aren't high, but it's their third race, and maybe they showed a little bit something more that second race, then I start to think there could be an angle there where you just throw everything out completely and say, okay, maybe the jockey and the trainer, maybe you look at the sire and you say, okay, I don't care what they've done in the past. There might be something here. And that could be an angle on the 7. That's not a bad one. I've seen worse angles.
Absolutely.
I've played
Many
worse
of mine
angles.
classify for that. All right, but formula. This is the cocktail lounge, and since I've been in, I've not heard a cocktail check. So, what are we drinking out there tonight? I am having. We all know I love some dark charge out of one of my favorite
Ooh,
breweries up north. But this one is a double barrel aged in bourbon barrels and then peach brandy barrels.
hello. Wow, that sounds really good.
It's delicious.
I've opened up nothing yet so far. Maybe I will pop something out here in a second. I'll check the fridge. We still got time, right?
Oh yeah,
We got plenty of time.
lots of time. But check in out there. 72 people watching. What are we drinking?
All right. Tip top can of Jungle Bird. That'll work. Cheers.
For the longest time, formula, I was looking for those tip tops, and nobody carried them around here. But
I was
Total
going to
Wines,
bring you some too when we're
Total
going to
Wines
meet in
has them now.
Kingland.
I found them now.
Oh, nice.
Total Wines has them.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, if you ever pick one up, let me know what you think of them. What flavors did they have? What cocktails?
I noticed a couple, and the one that stood out, I didn't spend a lot of time looking, but they had your favorite. They had the Negroni.
The Negroni. Yeah. I think I'm starting to run low on Negroni, so I might have to set up the subscription here. Alatot, he's got the Voodoo Ranger. Oh, that one. I feel like I've had that one in the past.
Oh yeah, that's
Todd,
a
cheers.
definite classic
Right
one.
at you. Yeah. Todd likes the 2. He hopes. The 1 will show speed from the rail. Interesting. See, I have not seen anything on the 1 to show that it would be anything but far back off of the pace, at least from previous runs.
Yeah, I've got the same. I mean, obviously, may want to go from the rail because of position, but nothing in those 3 races says this horse wants to be anywhere close.
The only other horse that I could see getting a little bit hot on the pace might be the 4, the Kenny McPeak horse, Soul Loot. Currently the favorite at 2-1, by the way. All right. Maple Bourbon for Poppy. Look at Poppy.
All right.
That's not half bad right there. Yeah. Looking at the odds here. I do have the last 2 performances being the 1 and the 2 horse of being the best. Like my personal speed figures show that the 1 has a 10 and the 2 has a 9.3, because all my stuff is on like essentially a 0 to 20 scale, or a 0 to 15 or so. It doesn't go up to 100 is what I'm trying to say. So those are the best. And for the distance, I've got the 10. I think his last race was at this distance, so that's why that one gets marked as is. And then the 2 got a 7.79 at the distance. In terms of the surface,
you said the 10. Was that the number? The
10 was the speed figure. Yeah.
Of which horse?
Speed figure. The 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you meant. That was the speed figure. I was just trying to figure out.
Right.
You know, the races have gotten a little bit better, and the horse kind of sustained, and that improvement in figures was going from sprint to route last time out, moved from a 6 furlong to a 1 1/8, just missed in that race, being 5 furlongs back early on in the race. So definitely going a 1 1/16 now, is going to have to move a little sooner to be any closer. But it is a Vacoma. And we know how well the Vacomas are running, and especially at Churchill, they've been running really well. So you got to look at that. But I'll tell you, after the 7, which I had on top, my second pick in here was the 4, Solo Loot. I really think that this horse moves forward, has run the 1 1/16 in all 3 races, and gotten better every time, and has been, second, fourth, and third. So has been right there. Kenny McPeak, Brian Hernandez, we know what they do together. So coming into Churchill for the first time after running at Oakland the last 2 in Fairgrounds on the initial start. So that's one that should move forward. And I had the 2 horse third of my picks.
No, he won't. Hey, hi guys.
Sean, sneak attack.
Sean,
how are you?
I saw him
pop in with this, and I'm like, Sean's got something.
Like a serpent, exactly. Like the RKO, exactly.
That's right.
You never know. How you guys doing?
I am doing well. How you doing, Sean?
Very good.
I'd be better if I had Derby winnings like all you other jerks.
I am doing great, Sean. Believe it or not, this is the first horse play I've done since Saturday.
Wow, I'm impressed. Wow, that's excellent. Excellent.
Okay, I'll go ahead and run through what I've got here.
Yep.
I'll just pull up my screen and just bounce through it.
Sure.
So, wow, it's going to be tough for you guys to read. You guys like eye charts?
That's definitely an eye chart.
Put your contacts in, ladies and gentlemen.
Can you read the last one, please?
So the 5 sticks out for me a little bit. I mean, it's spread out. It depends what you want to anchor on, right? What I'm looking at is the formulas for distance, right? These are my own personal speed figures and all averaged out. So looking at the distance, I have it as the 1 and then the 2, right? So a 10 and a 7.7. For the surface, it's pretty much the same. These are both like a 7.96 and an 8, right? So we're taking out turf, we're taking out Tapeta. And we're saying that those 2 are the best for the surface. Now, when we look at the last race, again, it's these 2, right? Which is telling you, hey, the formula is going to tell me it's these 2 today, right? No, I'm telling you, I actually like the 5. So jockey trainer sire combo, right? I've got this set up 43.5. So that takes into account You've got Velasquez on the mount here, Medina the trainer, and I got Cupid, who is an 8.15 for me. I actually like those numbers, and then I've got average of the last two. So, sorry, the two best out of the last three average out well for the 5 here. Plus, you're getting the value, and you're getting a jockey upgrade, and you've got a nice little closing number at 8.5 furlongs. So that gives me La Bombo as my top pick. And again, because of value here, I think I'm siding more with La Bombo. After that, I did have the 4, and then the 2 and the 1. The 1 I feel like should be higher. It is for some of my formulas here, and maybe because of the distance, you want to pull that horse in. But again, we're looking at like just off the pace here. Whoops, flip back over here. Just off the pace is what this is saying here. This is the last race. This is the only horse that's even close. The rest are like huge numbers back, 2 tiers back, far back, 2 tiers back, far back, 3 tiers back, right? It's a whole bunch of closers, and this is the only horse that's been close. Although I do have Midnight Loot at the distance being just off the pace for whatever he's run in the past. So yeah, guys, this is a look into my insanity if you're curious.
Wow. I'm impressed.
That's what I do for every race.
I'm impressed.
Those are the numbers that I get my brain wrapped around.
Love it. All right.
I definitely don't think it's an easy race, and I don't think it's easy to land on La Bombo, but I think with everything out there, he's currently pulling at 9-1. I do also like the 2, but I definitely want to see that 9-1 factor in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Sean, what do you got for this race, sir?
Yeah, this was a wide open race. I mean, this is one of those exciting Churchill maidens where anything can happen. I had the 7 free spin as my first pick.
Wow.
You don't usually see, is interesting. Riley started this horse off at 6 furlongs, right? But very rarely, if you look at Riley Mott's first timers, they're usually almost 15 to 20 to 1. He's like his dad. He doesn't win much first time out. This one was bet down to 5 to 1, which I find interesting because that's not usually a Riley number. So somebody thought this horse would be a runner, right? And I think this was just Riley just getting this horse out. Ran against Backtrack, Redacted, and Flick, who can all be 3 pretty good horses, going forward. So I think this was kind of a Riley, just let's get our legs stretched out here at Keeneland. Go to Churchill. We'll stretch him out. I think he definitely needed out of hard spun, out of Michigan, needed a little bit more distance. Guess Luis Saez, who's been on fire there. And I think he could be very tough here. My second pick was the 4, Soul Loot, Kenny McPeak. Ran a really good race versus Money Game and Super Cruise, who are 2 very talented horses out of Oaklawn. So I think this horse is definitely heading in the right direction and has taken 2 tracks already and done well at them. So I don't see anything why he wouldn't do well at Churchill here. And then my third pick was the 167 Mustang, Doug Anderson, Abel Cedillo. Again, an impressive second, just missing to Zero Sugar, who's a talented horse up at Oaklawn. So I was 7, 4, 1, and then I had the 5. Johnny Velasquez, major kudos. He goes to the Yankees game last night to celebrate Junior's first pitch of the Yankees game, and he's down at Churchill Downs tonight. So that was major kudos to him. Exactly.
Frequent flyer miles.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, Sean, and you weren't in when I gave out my picks, but I was 7, 4, and 2.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So that makes total sense. Yeah.
So pretty close. And the one thing you mentioned, I was talking about earlier, how no horse in here had been a favorite in the race. The $5.17 to 1 odds of free spin in that last race. There's only one horse that was lower in one race. That was the last race by the 2. La Hooligan was lower odds, but everything else for every other horse has been higher.
Yeah.
Even horses that have had multiple starts. And this one took money first time out, as you mentioned. I also love the move to Saez. And I was just also going to say to support Formula when he was talking about the 5, the move to Johnny Velasquez from, from the Apprentice Bacon. I mean, that's
Sure.
like as big as the jump as they come. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
this horse should definitely move forward off of that. But yeah, I really think that you could make a case for 1, 2, 4, 5, and 7 in here. 3 and 6 are the only 2 that I think. I think they're a little bit more out there, but everybody else, I could make a case for them winning. I do think it's pretty darn close.
Well, the 6 is well rested. 215 days since his last race, and he has the biggest class drop. That's the only case I can make for him.
After running in the Grade 1 American Pharaoh.
Yeah. Todd makes an interesting point that the 2 is the favorite in the pick 3. That's interesting.
Right.
And currently it's 7-2. So he's tied for 3rd in the odds right now.
Yeah, so somebody thinks he's going to run.
A lot of times in the pick 3 early on, especially from the first race, you get those people looking at the program and doing program picks. This horse was your morning line favorite.
2-1. Yep.
Yeah.
Indeed. Okay, so Tim, I think this is yours.
It is. I'm taking a look. The horses are coming out right now.
Okay.
Even though
how's the track today? Is it okay?
It's fast. We are fast and firm.
Okay.
Fast.
Okay. Good.
Especially in the last race, no one caught the 2 pace setters. They just dueled to the end.
Today was a beautiful day here, and we got rain this afternoon. It was nice this morning, and then yesterday was nice, and then the rest of the weekend, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday should be really sunny if you're playing Churchill this weekend.
Okay. Now, Tim, what are the seats that I noticed nobody's in the seats other than a couple of people out front there. Are those is that a section that isn't usually used?
Yeah. So when you're in the grandstand and you're looking at the track, those are the seats all the way down to the left at the beginning of the stretch.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And on a night like tonight, I mean, they'll have an Oak Creek crowd on these Twilight Thursdays, they call them, on these evening cards. And they'll have an okay crowd, but everybody will be crowded around the seats and the stands down around the finish line. And they'll come down a little bit towards the winner circle, but not many people go past the tunnel where the horses come out.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
And this is way past the tunnels.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
That's the beginning of the stretch. And if you've ever seen Churchill stretch, it's a long one.
Yeah.
So speaking of drinks, Curtis has got himself some Shiner Bock.
Good job, Curtis.
Uncle Sully, Woodford Reserve, old fashioned. Going through some that we hadn't talked about yet. Tim, I know we got 1 minute to post.
Go ahead. I'll put it out and then add it to the chat afterwards.
All right. I'll hit the button.
Go. All right. So this race is a little tough. So we're going to play a dollar exacta key box. Okay. We're going to play in a dollar exacta key box. I'm going to key the 2 horse. Okay. And I'm going to key the 2 with the 1, 5, and 7. So the 2 with the 1, 5, and 7. Okay. And I know the 7 is not sexy, but I hate to leave it out. So that'll be another $6 wager.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, that's where Trusty and Mike Whitten. Now, Mike Whitten's at Turfway trying to get them to get the Breeders' Cup. So
yeah,
he's still working on that with the negotiating that. So 2157. Hey, Jenny Mac, CB4, Sully, Vince Watson, Todd, everybody, Bobby D. Yeah, this is one of these great races that Churchill cards,
And they are all from the inside rail. The 1 veered a little bit towards the rail after jumping out. The 7 is also coming out.
As expected.
They hit the clubhouse turn. It's going to be the 1 taking them onto the backstretch. The 4 is moved up inside. The 7 is going to sit 2 wide in 3rd. The 5 horse La Bombo is starting to move up into 4th. The 2 is down on the rail in 6th. the 3 behind that one down on the rail, and then outside that one you have the 6 horse. 25 crawling
at the pace. We didn't think it was going to happen this way. We thought the 4, the 7, the 7 most likely. But yeah, good call.
But I like that with Saez because he's just sitting comfortably. Now they're letting the one crawl a little bit, but Saez has him measured. I'm pretty sure he's definitely, to me, the best rider at Churchill right now of those in this race. He's just been on fire.
Oh yeah.
The 5 is starting to move as well. We need our 2 to get moving, and that one is starting to come as well.
Let's
Still
get
got the 1
baby.
up front. The 5 is starting to close the distance. Here comes the 2 on the far outside.
Come on, Johnny.
The 6
6
from
is
the
making
back
a move.
is
What's
making
going on
a
with the
huge
6?
move.
Come on, 2. Come on, 2. Come
3
on,
is
5. Come on, Labombo.
Deuce.
Come on,
Deuce
5.
and 5, baby.
Here we
Let's go.
come.
52. Come on with 5
Come
and
on,
2.
5. Come on, 52.
Get
Come
up
on,
there, 5.
52. Come on, 52.
Get up, 5.
Johnny. Come on, Johnny.
Get up,
Push.
5.
Come on, Johnny.
Up 2. As long as the 2's in front or up there.
Is
Wow.
that 2
We got
5?
2 5.
So the 2 got in. I hope the 5 got second.
I
That
hope
was
so
the
too. I
eight.
think he
too.
did. I think
That was
he
the
did.
longest shot of all.
I'm
Yes,
hoping.
sir.
2 to 1. Boy, late money on that 2 because the 7 went from 9 to 5 to 5 to 2.
Yes. Yeah, the right key and the right horse behind it. We'll take
Yeah, I
that.
think so.
Absolute.
All right, let's see. Did we get the 5 home? I think we may have.
Either the 5 or the 4.
Yeah, let me see here.
I think the 1 got nudged out.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
I think
the
the
5 got the jump at the end.
I
You
think
think
so.
so? Oh, yes.
I really do.
Let's see.
It's
Yeah,
hard to
here-
tell because the
4.
jockey obscures the nose, but you might be
Oh,
right.
terrible bob for the 4, which is great.
Ooh,
That may have been
Got the
5.
gas. I think we got
I think
it,
it's
guys.
5.
I'm hoping.
Nice.
Let's see here. That was not a good bob for the 4 right before the wire. So,
Yeah.
this is great.
And the 2-5 is paying
Oh,
1971
look at
to
the
1.
bumper cars there.
Nice. Todd picking up the pick 3. Well done.
Great job, Todd.
I had 2-5 exacta box. I was driving, so I couldn't post, but I hope it comes in. We think it did, JG Funk. We think we got it here. Jenny Mack is saying 2-5.
I think
Tight
so.
race, easy peasy. And then Jenny Mack had win play show on the 5. That's going to pay too. 11 to 1. You're getting the place in the show, assuming we were right on that 5 being second, which, man, it looks like he is, but it's hard to tell because
Oh,
the jockey's in the way. But yeah, it looks like from
yeah,
that.
the
angle.
2's in the way. 2's so
really
big, it's in the way of the 5.
That's really close.
The two's so big. He's not the.
Yeah. Come on, baby. We know the 2 won. That's
Yeah.
clear. And we know
Yes.
the 1 got 4th.
Oh,
It's so close.
We got the bob.
That could even be a dead heat. I know that one, you know, but I'm saying
No,
it
no, no,
could.
no, no.
Well, we don't want 2-4.
No, no, no.
We'll take
No
a
dead
dead
heat.
heat over that, you know?
Yeah.
I just didn't want to include the 4 because you know, the low odds of everything there.
Yeah,
And the
no,
5,
exactly.
I wanted to get
Yeah.
the 5 in there for sure. And
Yeah.
That's the right call.
Yeah.
The horse ran like he was there. Didn't break his maiden, but you know. All right, guys.
Not for a lack of trying there by Johnny V, you know?
Yep. La Bombo.
Wow. In
I
Australia,
have the right 3.
this would be up like 10 minutes ago.
you know, but why haven't they at least put the 2 up? I mean, that's clear. Come
Yeah,
on.
is that
thank
you know?
Thank you. They're showing the 2. We all know it's the 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody knows it's a 2.
We've known it's the 2 for 12 minutes now.
Let's at least put the 2 up. The photos for second.
Yeah.
And we know the 1 is 4th. The photo is who got second and who got 3rd. We're taking a picture. We know we won.
Yeah, exactly. Who won the third race at Churchill? It was the 2 horse there, Morrow.
We're just waiting for
Two.
Who came in second?
We're just waiting for official word
Who
on
came in
most.
second?
2-5-4.
There you go.
Yeah, baby.
Only winners in the lounge.
Only winners. Rack them.
I'm still hot.
Look at that. He's still
Right.
hot.
That's right.
Well done.
254. There we go. Yes. Yes. Everybody's loving this.
And Jenny Mac got her across, which is great too.
Indeed.
Well done, Jenny.
My top 3 were the trifecta, so I feel better about that.
There you go.
We can still handicap here.
Hey, Hot Rod. Bodick got the exacta and try. Nice job, Bodick.
That's right.
Well done. Well done.
I feel like we got a lot of winners here. So Todd picked up the pick 3.
Yeah, love that.
Had 2-5. Bodick hit the exact and the try. Hot Rod picked up a winner there. That's right, Hot Rod. Only winners. We're off to a good start here.
Yes, sir.
Only 8 races, but we're off to a good start.
Love
I
it.
got to races all my losses from earlier.
It's official. The $2 exacta, we had half of that. $39.42 for 2.
Okay.
We'll take it.
We'll take that.
Todd O'Shea also hit the 10-cent super. There we go. We're
Nice
$7.58,
job,
but it's a hit nonetheless.
So 1971, and where were we? With the 88?
Mine was updated from the first 2 races. So
Okay.
you got to probably take out what you spent
Got
on
it.
that last
Yeah.
race.
So we spent 6. So
Okay.
so
So we should be up then.
we are.
A little, but we're up.
Yeah.
We're on the right side.
Thank you, Jenny. Tim's on fire.
There you go. 101.71. So we're back on the
All right.
back in the black. Back in black.
Back
Little
in
ACDC.
Yes, sir. Babaloosh, babaloosh. I'm gonna call. Oh, yeah, it's 5 furlongs. I was gonna call Churchill and say, "How's there not Oscar performers, baby, in this turf race?" But there's only 5. It's only 5 furlong. We need longer.
Never change, Sean. Never change.
Exactly. Look at this. All the Mr. Rogers fans, Guy Smiley in the next race here. Love it.
That's Guy
Sesame.
Smiley. That's not
Sesame Street. Sesame Street. That's right. Guy Smiley.
Muppets, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Muppets.
Guy Smiley.
We'll
Yeah.
get there eventually.
He's the news reporter. Yeah, we can do it.
Martin Garcia and post run race 4. The old citizen bull position bet once again.
Yeah.
That's the firster of the race, or one of 2 firsters in the race.
Turn right. Come out of the gate, turn right.
Exactly. So I apologize getting in late. Did we talk about the Derby at all?
We can talk more. It was the
Yeah.
Derby. I talked about it because I was vamping for 30 minutes before.
Oh,
Tim
good.
joined,
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
But if you guys got something to say on it, I didn't touch on Citizen Bull other than the fact that he finished 15th.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
much for Bob pulling rabbits.
Yeah. I just didn't think. Good job, Todd. Yeah.
Oh,
no.
Todd, well done. That's a good feeling right there.
After watching the replay, here's my things.
Yeah.
Number one, obviously, great ride by Junior, following journalism around the basically like a statue, and then just a great duel between 2 great horses, East versus West. You don't get much better than that. 2 excellent horses, and I hope they meet up again. That would be special. Definitely. I mean, what a race! Is Puka just? She's just putting out racehorse after racehorse after. What a huge race from the outside to close like he did for 3rd. Amazing, And Gambit. Gambit closed almost more ground than anybody, which was amazing. But The horse definitely I was most impressed with, though, was
Go ahead.
Burnham Square. Got absolutely killed by the Japanese horse Daytona on the rail,
Daytona.
and got absolutely put into the rail. I'm surprised he didn't go over it. You know what I'm saying?
I'll just add to that really quickly, Sean. I heard that there may have been a jockey that was really upset with that race, and said something about it. But he almost went through the rail.
Almost went through the rail. Went from like fifth, and he was really moving up to the front to the fifth.
The rail.
Up
bringing
the rail,
him up the rail.
Right, exactly. And then got bounced back to 12th. And then came all the way back for 6th. I mean, so that horse was loaded to run, and he just but the Japanese horse Daytona just absolutely took him out. So
yeah, I thought you were going to say Owen Almighty, the horse that was on the pace and held on.
Know what? I was talking to Abby Castellano the other night, because the Junior and the Castellanos are best friends. And they were thrilled for. I said, Abby, how about Javier's ride on Owen Almighty coming in 5th? I mean, who would have had him in the top 5 on the outside with the speed? I mean, and after the race, their connections were like, is where they won the race. They're like 5th, and they did say it was too long for them, but they're like, wow, what an effort to come in 5th in the Derby. I mean, that was amazing. 5th in the Derby.
Yeah, I mean, you can say too long, but you come in 5th in the Derby, you're putting 14 horses behind you.
And you get what, like 500,000 for 5th? Not a bad day work. Exactly. Lynchy was thrilled. So Nick and Brian were both thrilled. So I was real proud of them.
Yeah, I'll just add one general comment, and not pro or against any particular horse, but one thing that we talk about a lot is as handicappers going into the Derby is trip, and we always know that there's going to be traffic and there's going to be trouble. It's a 20 horse race, 19 this past Saturday, and we always try to handicap it, keeping in mind that some horses, based on their running style and where they're going to be, potentially are going to run into trouble. And one funny thing that I saw on Horse Racing X for a day or two after the race was everybody was making the excuse for their horse and pointing out the point in the race where their horse was absolutely creamed and would have won it otherwise and will win the next one. And I'm not saying that they won't, but I'm just saying that's what happens. And there are a couple that I will say that's not true. And I'll give you one example that I think kind of stands out. Final Gambit. There were a couple of people talking about Final Gambit kind of getting cut off early and how he'd have won if it hadn't been for that. No, he wouldn't have, because either way, Final Gambit was going to the back. So what did cutting him off do? Get him to the back quicker? I don't know. It's just like, but he was going to the back, and that did not hurt that horse.
By the way, Sovereignty clipped heels.
That was my horse.
Sovereignty clipped heels coming right out of the gate, and he still won.
That's one thing I was going to point out, Sean. I actually said that in our chat group as well, that if you go back and you look, Sovereignty got pinched from the inside and outside, and I'm not saying it affected him, but I did read from the connections that he clipped heels.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Junior even said, he said, oh no, he said, but he said he never lost stride. And Junior won the race when he got him over to the rail, like right away. You know what I'm saying? And then saved all the ground. So yeah.
No, you're totally right. It's the Derby, and there's going to be a ton of contact.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to get creamed to some extent, whether you're the one horse on the rail. I mean, Citizen Bull creamed 6 horses within the first 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Right. So who's left?
Right. Yeah. And
Citizen Bull, turn right.
Exactly. And Sovereignty is now back in Saratoga with his lovely lady Irma, who gives him all the massages and all that. She's worked for Billy Mott for 45 years. She's back feeding him carrots and giving him the massages. So he's a happy horse.
He's a happy horse. That's good to hear.
Love it.
Oh, the mayor's in the house.
Oh, don't say.
Yes, he is. The mayor is in the house. Fresh off his meetings with the Breeders' Cup Committee, trying to get the Breeders' Cup to Turfway. You don't
A
know
lot of
how that
closed door
went.
meetings.
Yep. Those exactly. We'll see if you had any luck with those.
Yeah, this is another one I'll mention as well. Wrong one here, moved up on me as I was clicking. So Baiza did really close well and got a nice third place finish. And he's another one that a lot of people wanted to say, well, if this hadn't happened, he won. He was not competing with the top two. I don't care. He ran a great race.
Yeah.
He really ran well to finish third. But I think that was his ceiling in that race. I really do. The top two horses were just way better than everybody else. And I don't think he was going to do any better than what he did. He ran a great race and he's a hell of a racehorse. And look, watch him going forward. And I'm not saying that later on in the year that he doesn't beat those top two horses, but no matter what happened in that race, he was not catching them.
Yeah. Fap is asking about a horse in race 6. We'll get to that, Fap, when we.
I typed in some of my comments because I won't be around for race 6.
Oh, good. Okay, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Ardford, yeah. Definitely has a chance, though, Fap, for sure.
Yeah, Munning's horse at 6.5 furlongs.
Yeah,
Never count
absolutely.
them out. That's the sweet spot.
So we have 13 minutes to go here.
Last race felt pretty good. This one feels tough. Even as I look at where I have my data model, I look at other horses and certain other figures that may not have been pulled into this model. I'm thinking, there might be another angle here. But I will say, let's see what the odds are currently. Is the 2 the morning line or the favorite? At 7-2, the 2 is the favorite. Those are some high odds to be a favorite. It opened at 5-2. The 2 horse Restore did. And I had him as my favorite. For maiden special, I often look at, the horse gets a jockey upgrade. That's phenomenal. I think this is the horse. Is this horse that Junior gets? No, Frankie Dettori. And then this is a horse that has run in 6 races. I've got him as getting closer to the pace, which is an indicator I look at. But also for the surface, I have him graded out as being the top runner. I've got a close second on the 3, by the way, which you're getting. I had a good morning line on it, but now it's 5-1. And then over the past 10 races, got a good value on him. Not the best in the last race, but we'll get to that in a second. I like where he sits on the pace, especially for a 5 furlong race. It's on turf. So yeah, I've got the 2 as my top play here. I've got the 3 Blast Furnace coming up next.
Yeah.
I do like this horse. He's been off a year, so he's gotten rest. That's the way I'm choosing to look at it. Like him on the surface. He did not look good on Tapeta. He did not look good on dirt, but he has looked much better on turf, in my humble opinion. He's been off for a while, yes. But he's getting Luis Saez, so that always helps. The horse and the 1 are Starry Night. So you got a couple things here. You got McLean's Music, which has been a phenomenal sire. Philip Bauer's a phenomenal trainer. Martin Garcia in the 1 hole. Look out. I've got him at 7-1 as my 3rd horse. But man, as I look across here, I see a whole bunch of other horses that I could make a case for just based off of like recent runnings. Like, for example, the 9 horse currently getting 5-1. If you look at the 2 best of the last 3, I've got him rated as my top. And if you look at the last race, who ran the best last race? Guy Smiley, the 4 horse, currently at 7-2. So this one is all over the map for me. But I'll go 2, 1, 3, and then I'll toss you the 9 as my next horse.
What was your top horse again? Sorry, bud.
Oh, sorry. No, it's okay. The 2.
Yeah, 2.
That's my top horse.
Yeah, Restore. Yep. Absolutely.
I'm not thrilled with the number, but it's better than the morning line. So.
Yeah.
Hey, really quickly, guys, I don't mean to jump off topic, but I just want to address Fap's post here really quickly because he was asking, about Art Fair, and he's asking our opinion on cashing out. Look, that's a personal decision. I will ask you. I think the formula said he had him second. I will tell you this. I've got him on top, and I've got him on top by a bit. The 8's the only one that scares me a little bit, but I think the 7's a winner in that race, but don't take that to be what to determine what you need to do.
Yeah.
Here's what you need to consider, in my opinion. Payout if you win is $1,400. They are offering you $600 to cash out. So if you can cash out for $600 right now, would you have been happy if the total payout was $600? Are you willing to risk it to win an extra $800?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's what you have to figure. Nobody can tell you that. You got to decide. I would not tell you, what I think you should do at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's called gambling, but that doesn't mean you should risk it.
Right.
If you'd be happy with a $600 payout had you wanted, if you'd have thought that, hey, I'd be really happy if it paid that, and sometimes it pays on the low end, then maybe you want to take it. If you want to risk it and go for it and shoot, and be like, okay, I gave it a good shot being 2 for 3 in and getting nothing. How many times have we all, been 5 out of 6 or 4 out of 5 or, in this case, 2 out of 3 and been like, damn it. So you got to figure that out for yourself. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump in. But
no, perfectly a good reason to jump in. If it were me, I mean, taking exactly what Tim said, we're not going to tell you what to do, but I would play it safe. I would take the payout because, man, I don't think he's completely a favorite on top. I've got him as my number 2. It could go either way. It could be the 8, could be the 6. Right.
He said he hit the cash out. Good call.
Yeah, good job, Fat. Yeah.
Well done. That's a win.
That's a win.
There you go. You
don't even have to wait for that race, and it's a win. Congratulations, my man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would play it safe.
Bobby D's got an exacta box 641 win on the 1, and Mayor Turfway's got $2 to place and show on the 3 and the 9. And Bob Jackson's top 3 picks are 2, 6, 9, and race 4. Tim, what you got, my friend?
Formula. I'm sorry. I know you just said that. Will you just say your numbers again? I was listening to everything else.
No, you're good.
I know the 2 on top, right?
2 on top with 3, 1, and 9.
Okay.
Yeah. So Firsty, who drops into the comment section every once in a while, says he wants to buy me a T-shirt that says "My Pope drinks Malort." Which is a total Chicago joke. If there's any Chicagoans in here, you'll get the joke. But if you're outside, awesome. You might not.
How about American Pope for the first time ever?
Yeah. Is there a host? Is there a horse that's going to be named American Pope?
Yeah,
that we'll see in 3 years.
Wouldn't surprise me.
And Tim, who did you like here, my friend?
I really wanted to find a price in this race, and I've got a couple of that I like, and the 3 is the price horse that I like, and that's Blast Furnace. Come in into the Kerry Brion barn, getting Saez up, and I mean, I want to like that horse, and I see a little bit, but I just couldn't get there. So I left it underneath. I do have the horse as an underneath play. But for me, what did I just say last race? Maybe I need to change this because I just looked at it after looking at my numbers at the top. I ended up with the 4 on top, and it's Wesley Ward, and what we just said. So I'm going to change it right now. So I'm going with my 3rd horse, Restore. So I am going to take the 2, and it's not because the formula did it. Listen, seriously, this is what I did for the Derby. It's like you handicap ahead, and you got to not be afraid to adjust based on what's going on, right?
Yeah.
So based on what I just said about Wesley Ward, I'm doing what I just said. I'm going to fade him in this race. And that horse has a question, coming in here on turf for the first time after running the first 2 races on the synthetic anyway. So there are some questions there. So I'm going to play the 2 on top. And then I will play the 3 second, and the 4 is a horse that I think you have to include underneath Wesley Ward and Rodriguez getting up. So it's definitely a horse that figures into this race, but yeah. I think the turf is a legitimate question for this horse, Sean.
Yeah.
I had a coin toss between the 4 and the 9, and what you said, the turf, being a
Yes.
question mark is the reason I went with the 9 over the 4, because I look at the 4 and I've got his last race as being far and away the best of this crew. I've got him as a 7-9 in the last race. The next up is a 6-9. So looked good to me last race. But again, you're talking about a horse that's only been on Tapeta so far. So does that translate over? Hard to tell. Hard to tell. It's a different race. So yeah, the 9 looked pretty presentable to me. And I like the 9 at the distance too. That's the other thing. The 9 looks better at the distance than the 4 does for me.
Yeah, and one more, you know that in maiden special weights like this, it's like the 2 formula. If you were going back to what I said last race, that I like to look for that favorite. This horse has been favorite 2 times out. So if you look at all the races, 2 out of the last 3 races, this horse was taking favoritism money. So definitely has figured into maiden special weight races at the fairgrounds. So I think it's one that definitely is a strong play here. So unlike in that last race when we didn't have any of those. But I was saying that to get to the point that I'm always trying to look for an angle to include the first time starters. And the 1 is one here that might serve a little bit of a play underneath. And
that's why I added him in.
More as a 3rd place finisher for me. But I would definitely, if I'm playing trifectas, I would probably include the 1 underneath.
Okay.
Last workout, 48.4 for furlong. Pretty good. Pretty good. And all the intangibles, right? Bauer, Garcia, McLean's music, all that stuff adds up pretty well for a first timer on the rail. Yeah.
No one's used my horse. Interesting.
So Sean, this is yours.
Yeah, no one's used my horse. Very interesting.
Oh, no one's used your. Oh, geez.
No.
You went for the
Exactly.
7.
No, I love the 6. Modus Bestia, Alex Achard and Richard Baltas. Right, this thing's double is almost like with the 2. If you look at this horse, Modus Bestia, Sansuba is a stakes horse out in California. Came in 2nd by a nose to him. Right, then he tried him on 16th on the dirt versus Voldemort and Westward. Clearly didn't like it. Then came to Keeneland for 6.5 furlongs. Was running against Big Truz, who is the big Luis Saez Lynchy's horse the other day that just lost to the Munster. That, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to throw that one out. But Richie Baltas is the master. This horse was 500,000. I think he was getting some races into him with this spot in mind all along for this horse. I think Alex Achard fits this horse perfectly. I think he's just faced better than some of these horses have, because I had 6-2. But the interesting thing about the 2, which worries me, and I put at the top, does this horse like to win? He's always close, 4, second, 4, second, third. He's always there, but he just can't seem to find a way to win. So is this a horse that's going to win, or is this a horse that's just going to keep getting checks for everybody? You know? So hit the button. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'll just add one thing real quick for the 6, Sean, is the one thing that I wrote down. It's just like until Alex Achard starts doing a little more, I got to bet against the guy. He's the one that was on the 1 that ended up getting 4th in the last race. He's not finished in the money so far. For the entire year, he's only 9% on the win side, which is really low. He just hasn't been riding up to what he's done in the past at Turfway and things.
Yeah. Able to the other day because of Alex Achard at what do you call it in Indiana? So maybe
everywhere else, but I don't like the way he's been riding in Kentucky.
No, exactly. I'm just gonna do 5 to win a place in the 6. I really like. I'm too torn with too many horses for exactas. I'm just gonna do 5 to win a place in the 6.
Good deal.
I'm gonna be my
tossing out all our knowledge, Tim. All those horses we threw out, gone in the ether, says Sean.
It'll probably be 2.
Normally, when Sean does that, he wins, and we look weird.
Truth be told, can only get
the one's taking late money there, 9 to 2. Look at that.
All right. Sully's talking Sophie Doyle at 44-1 and not giving her a mention.
Like it, Sully. And they're off. One getting right out there.
One's getting out there. Yep.
5 going.
5 not letting them. All right, so 5 and the 1 are battling it out here. Our 6 is actually in a nice little stalking position, one length off as they're entering that turn there. The one, our Starry Knight at 7-1 is battling the firster. Stormtown at 5-1, still giving him a bit of a push there, a head off. But hey, our 6 is right there in a nice little stalking position in that second lane there as they're heading toward the straightaway. The 1 still in front there, getting pushed by the 3. The 5 starting to fall back a little bit now, but the 1 still giving a charge. The 4 coming on the outside. The guy Smiley we talked about earlier. It looks like he's going to take over, feeling great on this. He pushing the 1. Guy Smiley. 4-1.
Wow.
And then whoever's on the inside.
Did you notice that my 6 went down from 5-1 to 5-2?
Yeah. You got the discrimination treatment there.
Wow.
He went off as the favorite.
Yeah, I wasn't the only one who thought he was going to run big.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was Alex had him in a perfect position. I hate people that say, see, I told you Alex is riding terrible. He had the horse in perfect position and the horse didn't move forward. You know, you can't blame a jockey when he's got the horse in the perfect spot and the horse just doesn't respond. You know?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily blaming the guy. I'm not blaming Alex. I'm just going with the numbers, the horses he's getting on for whatever reason right now.
No. But what I'm saying to the people, I'm saying like exactly. He had him in the perfect spot. If he had the horse, he around the turn he wins. But you know what I'm saying. But he just didn't even.
Now, Formula, I got to go back and say this. What did I just say? The 4 is the horse I had on top, and I'm not betting Wesley Ward. Wesley said,
yeah.
Guy Smiley.
Wesley said, screw you, Tim. I did like the 1.
What did I say?
I did like
the 9 over the 4 because I like the way the 9 looks on turf better than the 4. Whoops.
Yeah. We all got taken there.
Hey guys, listen to this though. 4-1. And I've got this. I've got the 4 first and the 1/3 on my PPs. 4-1, 67-1.
And who came in third? Who came in third? The 5?
The 3, I believe.
3?
The 3.
Okay.
So I think the 3 was on the rail and edged out. Oh, Marv. Marv.
Nice one, kid.
Oh, man. Look at that.
Very nice.
Look at that. That's going to pay.
Yeah.
You put the 3 on there at 5-1. Nice.
Mayor Turfway likes checks.
Guy Smiley.
Yeah. Boy, that 6 got absolutely hammered.
Did he?
Yeah. He was at 5-1 and went down to 5-2. Somebody just lost a lot. It wasn't me. But someone just lost a lot
on the odds. I thought you meant he got rammed into.
No. He had a perfect trip. He was right outside he had the absolute dream trip and absolutely no horse.
Well, we weren't right on the 2, Tim.
No,
or I wasn't.
But the 3 is the other one, that I mentioned with the connections. Yeah,
Carrie, that was a nice 3rd. Yeah. When Sherry DeVoe gives up on a horse, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, I'm not thrilled with that,
All right. If you guys need any more opinions from me, I left them in your
Morrow won with the 6. The Morrow, it was what was it 4-1-3 something 2?
4-1-3-5.
2. Yeah.
And then the 2 was in 5th.
Yeah. I think we're seeing this 2. Yeah. I think just doesn't like to win. You know what I'm saying? He's always there. Yeah. And by the way, Frankie has not been riding good at all either. You know what I'm saying? So,
that's another one.
Exactly. So good job, Marv.
Yeah, good job. That's official now. 4-1.
And good job, Formula, for starting us off today.
Oh, no problem. Glad I could do it.
Thanks, and you were saying that you left your thoughts where? What was you were saying?
Oh no, in our messenger chat, you saw my tip sheet in there. So if you
I
ever
have it up. Yes.
want to shift to it, all right,
And
guys. Good luck the rest of the way out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be joining late because they end earlier than Evangeline did before,
Right.
so I'm
Okay.
not going to have time to jump on. I don't think, but
Okay.
have fun. See you guys later.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good night.
You too.
And what a great, yeah. There you go. Yeah.
And Sean, once again, it's just you and me.
I love it. There we go. Well, thank you, Formula, as always.
Absolutely. No, I love it when the other guys are on. I'm just saying,
Yep,
this is
yep.
what we normally
Absolutely.
at.
Yeah, well, that was one of those races where we all got punked.
Maybe Ombre will join us later.
There you go. But as we always say, Tim, we turn the page.
Yes, we do.
Fifth race is Churchill down 6 furlongs. Maiden 20,000, purse 48,000 for maidens, 3-year-olds and up. Yes, you definitely have, Mark. Well done, my friend. And let's see, do we have any scratches here? We do not. A full field of 10. Going to post here. This is interesting. Yeah, and you were saying as that was on turf. As speed basically kind of held. Is that the kind of the?
I mean, speed has been involved. There have been horses, coming from behind, but speed has been right there and been involved.
Okay, yeah.
I wouldn't say it's held for the win, no.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
What's up, George?
How are you, George? Thank you to everybody joining us tonight, over 100 strong. Great to see you, George. We get extra mortgage payment after Saturday. I think he did pretty good, didn't he?
Who's that?
El Hombre? I think he did pretty good. He did good, yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure anybody had a bigger day than me, but
no. Tim needed wheelbarrows to get out of Churchill Downs. Exactly.
That's what the Kentucky Derby Super will do to you.
Oh, absolutely. Colin Sheehan, what's up, buddy? We survived Derby hangover.
We did.
Yes, we did. And no, Colin, Tim, and I all walked out that Saturday with a lot. Our accounts a little bit full, more. Well, Tim was much full, but both of us walked out with both.
It was a great day.
Feeling pretty good. It's going to be a fun Preakness because there's going to be a lot of. I think it makes, with sovereignty out, I think it makes a very interesting Preakness. With all that, the new shooters and I think it could be very interesting.
Yeah, Uncle Sully, I did. For those that weren't watching the broadcast, just to give you an idea, after the Derby, the last two races, so I hit the trifecta next to the last race, and then I was actually alive in the pick 5 to the last race. And for whatever reason, I did a really skinny ticket, so it wouldn't have hurt me at all to add the 12 in. But I had the 12 in that race as my second pick, even though the 12 was going to be a big favorite. And I took my top pick and my long shot pick, and I had the 14 and the 5. So what I did was, in the very last race, I did a key to kind of hedge, and I did a $25 trifecta key, and I keyed the 12 on top of the 14.5, and it came in 12-14-5. So that was that race alone was 900 and some bucks. So not too bad.
Not too shabby at all.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I don't do a lot is, I'm not a person who likes to put out picks, but I did that particular day. I put all my picks into our chat. Sean will attest to this.
Absolutely.
And basically, out of all of the races, there were 14 races for the day. And out of all of them, I had 11 winners out of my picks. I had 5 top pick winners. I had 7 exactas. I had 6 tries, including 2 ice cold tries. And I had 2 supers out of all my picks. So not a bad day for Kentucky.
Not a bad day at the office at all. Not a bad day at all. Exactly. So, okay. So let us know who you like out there. And at race 5, I thought this is an interesting race, Tim.
Yeah, it is.
This is one of those ones that could definitely want to kind of see here. See what we're. I'd like to see what the board is doing here. In terms of yeah. Okay. So yeah, 3, 8, 9, 8. Okay.
I think it's interesting, and I'll tell you why when I talk about mine, Sean.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So. Interesting that they had bet the 3 early, and I had him as one of my picks. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, my first horse was indeed the yeah, and this is race 5, right? Okay. Yeah, so it's interesting to see here.
Rick, it was a 4K day.
Yeah, very impressive. Exactly. So now this is interesting. That this is one of those moves that makes like my interesting. The Dallas Stewart with the 8, Bernie Dot brings this horse back on, what are we talking here? Like a 2-week layoff. After showing nothing versus much, much better at 100,000. He's running against Shepherd and Sergeant Caps. And those horses are definitely better than this group. Yeah, and Dallas is not usually known for that move, so I thought that was interesting that he did that. But my top pick was the 9, Geno's Myth, Michael Puhick and Declan Cannon. I really like the fact that this horse, when he dropped down, his races at Churchill, second in 100,000 with Declan, and 5th in 100,000 with Declan. I just think he's faced better horses than this group has. And the 7 furlong needed the race from January. Didn't run great at Keeneland, but they did bet him. And Puhic is a 2 for 2 with 2 seconds here at Churchill, so he's seeing the track well. I think this is one of those cases, Tim. We often say this with New York and other places. The horse likes Churchill, but not Keeneland. So I think this horse has run 2 very solid races at Churchill. I think he's the horse to beat. Second pick, a very questionable pick, is Bernie Dot. Dallas Stewart bringing his son of Maximum Security right back in like 2 weeks. Yes, Louis Zaya is up aboard. Interesting, they're 0 for 9 together at Churchill. They're 15% together, but they're 0 for 9 at Churchill. So I find that's an interesting combination. Read into that what you will, but I did put him second because he's definitely facing. And then the third horse is Don Corleone. Again, here's a speed type who is facing much better. Interesting that Steve drops this horse. This is a move I don't like. Sometimes when you move from maiden special to 50,000 or 75,000, you're like, okay, I see the drop. Going from a maiden 108 to a 20,000, and Steve, that to me says I'm trying to get rid of this horse because he just stops, and I don't like those type of drops that drastic, especially from Asmussen. So I have him third, but I don't think I don't like him at all on the top. So I was 9, 8, 3, and 1. With the one coming out of maiden special weights, but there's a lot of droppers here, Tim.
Yeah, there definitely are, and it's one of the things that I was looking at. That most of the race is that. So again, when you look across the board at all of these horse in a maiden race, like I was talking about earlier, I'm looking which horses have taken a lot of money and have been at least favorites in a race or two. And the 3 2-back was an odds-on favorite in a turf sprint. And then the 4 has actually been the favorite a couple of times, but those were both early on. and hasn't taken money as of late. But I do like that horse underneath a little bit. I think BJ getting up moves the horse forward, and they ran at Keeneland, and that one just didn't seem enough. So maybe an underneath piece, but not one of the ones I'm really talking about.
Sure.
I do like the 3 on top here, Sean, and I agree with what you said about this horse backing up. But one thing that you and I both talked about a lot on here is that when you're dropping down, how were you doing at the level you were at? And this is a horse who has been right there, does have 3 in the money places against much better. If you look a couple of back, and those were both turf races, but did finish for second and third. But if you look at those times and you look at the rest of this field, I think this horse is just much faster than everybody here, Sean.
Yeah. Okay.
So to me, I think the 3 is going to get out front. Steve's putting his son up, Keith, and he does ride really well at Churchill, so I'm not worried about that. And sometimes with the sales, here's the thing about this horse: this was a $1,200,000 purchase.
Yeah.
And, I saw I'm going to talk off topic here for just a second. It's on topic, but it's not related to the race. Somebody was really giving Rapoli a hard time about dumping a horse. Dumping a horse and not taking care of the horse. Well, all he did was put the horse in a claiming race because it doesn't fit what Rapoli does. Rapoli doesn't run $20,000 claimers.
Right.
And yes, but that's a horse who won that race at that level, and somebody claimed the horse. And it's like a horse that, especially at that level, is going to win somebody a lot of money and give somebody who wants to play the game at a lower level a horse who somebody like Rapoli thought enough of to pay a lot more money of on early on, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So this is a horse that I think is similar. This is a $1,200,000 horse, and I think that if you look at the ownership, Kaleem Shah Incorporated, it just doesn't fit their racing program. And yes, they're dumping the horse for a lot less money, but somebody's going to get a horse that at this level is probably a horse that can win them a bit of money.
Sure.
And I think Don Corleone is that horse is probably the speed in this race and gets out and runs away from everybody. Another one I really like, Sean, I do have the 9, but I like the 1 underneath potentially as well. Coming from the rail is probably going to get out forwardly placed and gets Luan up this time. And I just think this is a spendthrift owned horse trained by Albert Stahl. So the connections here hit about 20% overall. So I kind of like that. And second race, this horse should move forward a little bit. And if this horse moves forward off that last race, then he should be considered. And it's an authentic, right? So definitely well bred. So I ended up being 3, 1, and 9. Those are the horses I have on top. I like 4 a little bit underneath those, but 3, 1, and 9 were my favorites.
Okay.
The way I had them.
Sure. Yeah. No, this is one of those good races that they card that I like.
I agree. And they're showing the horses in the paddock now. We'll wait. We've still got 9 minutes. We'll wait until they come out to the track, but they're showing the 3. This 3 looks amazing. And the 1 is actually, I'm a little surprised, Sean. The 1 is actually the 2-1 favorite right now. And I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. No.
I like the 1 underneath. I do have that horse right there. I just talked about the 1, but I think the 3 is definitely a better horse.
Yeah. No.
If I can get 3-1 on the 3 over 2-1 on the 1, I will definitely take that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Bobby D, I'm assuming you're talking about Rapoli being a sore loser. That's not even what we're talking about here. I'm just talking about, sometimes connections. My point was connections like Rapoli, he doesn't run horses in $20,000 claimers. So there are times he figures, you know what? We spent money for this horse, but this is not a horse that I think fits our program and where we're trying to run and at the class level we're trying to run. So yes, I agree that they're what we like to call dumping the horse, but really they're just putting the horse in to get it claimed and to let somebody else have a chance with it at a different level. Because the horse just doesn't fit what they do. And losing money on one horse or a handful of horses or a whole bunch of horses, even for a guy like him, is not going to impact his bottom line for sure.
No, not at all. Yeah. No.
And I think 3 might be one of those. Don Corleone. How do you not like Don Corleone? John, I can't believe the money that the one is taking here. I'm trying to look real quick at the will pay. So let's see.
Yeah, I know. I'm noticing that, you know.
So the will pay, I'm looking double first. It is 3, then 1. Now the pick 3, it is 3, then 1 by very little, by the way. The pick 4, Sean, it's 1, then 3. Pick 5, 1, then 3.
Yeah, yeah.
So those are the horses. I think we're pretty close with the horses that we like here. So I've actually got to play is something I think I'm going to try here. I need to take Sean. Did we didn't win anything with your 5 to win in place, right?
No, we did not. No.
I need to take that 10 out of the bankroll real quick.
Take the 10 out. Yep.
And then make sure we're okay. I want to make sure we're tracking accurately.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And here we go. It's like, Sean, you do know what time it is, right?
Yes, I do.
Riders up!
And it was Riders Up time all day Saturday.
It was.
But that was a different kind of Riders Up. 9 to 5 on this one, Sean.
Yeah, I don't really get that, you know. I like the horse, but I don't like,
I don't get that on top. I really don't.
Yeah,
I like it underneath, but
yeah. I do see though, I think they see the maiden special, you know, I'm saying the big drop, you know what I'm saying, you know, spendthrift. I'm saying,
that's everybody in here. Everybody's not a spendthrift, but I mean, like we said with the 3 was $1,200,000.
Right. Yeah, but I think what they're seeing is the you know, yeah, I agree, you know.
But wow, I mean, $1 million Ocala purchase.
Yeah.
By Kaleem Shah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's why I kind of like my 9 because I like the fact that he's been running consistently at this $100,000. You know, I mean, he was running consistently at the 100,000. You know, at least on this track, he's shown me that he can run something on this track.
Exactly.
The Churchill, I think that's important. You either like the track or you don't. Yeah, like the 8 move is a very interesting off 2 weeks. That's not usually Dallas's, you know. The 9's owned by Pegram.
Sean, we got a few minutes. Let's give the people some time this time. I think I am ready.
Go ahead.
You know, I've got some horses. I just simply like the 3 on top, and I like them better than everybody else. So we're going to play something kind of simple here. We're just going to play our picks. You know me, I'm a bettor of conviction, as I like to say. I'm just going to bet a $2 trifecta box 1, 2, and 9.
Love it. There you go.
Hope those 3 come in, and those are our 3 on the board. And whatever order, we would prefer the 9 on top of the 3 and the 1 finishing 3rd based on the odds. But that'll cost you $12. If I was throwing in one more horse and you were looking to do something, I would put the 8 underneath. If you were asking me to key one of those, I would key. And you know, Sean, I made a mistake there with the. I'm going to delete that because it should be 139.
139. Yeah, I knew what you meant. Yeah,
but I want to make sure that everybody gets it. So if
Irene, the 4. This is the best in class. I don't see how he would be the best in the class in this group.
Anyway, let's try this again. Let's get it right.
139.
Once again, I'm going to box the 1, 3, and 9.
Yeah.
If you were looking for a key, you're trying to play it a little bit differently. I would key the 3. The 3 would be my key with the 1. And if I was looking to play something that is comparable, I would key the 3 and maybe add in the 8 if you're looking for something like that. Maybe do a key box for 18 for $1. Key the 3 with the 189. That's also a possibility. Something along those lines. And that looks like what Rick Johnson just posted, 189 with 3.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was just saying, Rick. I like that bet a lot. But I do think, at least for me, these are the top three. And the way I've been seeing them lately at Churchill, we're going to give it a shot.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Marv's got a 6 with the 1, 9, 10. Good luck, Marv. Also seeing the ball very well.
Yes.
Firsty, how are you, my friend? My coworker said to thank Tim. There you go.
I like it. Hey, you know, we say it all the time, Firsty, and I am not kidding at all. It's like sometimes I get as big a kick out of other people saying that they took something they heard from us. And you guys know we typically don't give advice as to how to bet. We tell you what we're doing, but play it with what you see. But I love to see people say that they heard something and helped them win. And sometimes they heard something and added to horses I don't have and they win. And it's just like, I like that even better.
Yep, absolutely. We are 1 minute away from post time. What looks to be a beautiful night at Churchill.
Yeah, Firsty, if he was watching our show on Saturday, we had a good day overall. And I do mean we, because everybody contributed to that. And we had some great plays. And
yes, sir.
it was a good day. Bodick talking about socks. He said he wagered his socks. I definitely on Saturday, you guys are going to laugh at me. I wore my lucky socks. So.
He did. Yep, he did. Yep. And it definitely helped.
I swear every time I wear those socks, John, I went up to Keeneland and I don't think he's in here right now, but Uncle Sully is he? There he is, Uncle Sully. Uncle Sully knows that I did pretty well that day that I saw him up there. I was with my son. I was also wearing my lucky socks that day.
See, there you go.
And guess what, Sean? Those are the same socks I was wearing the day that we were at Parks. Tell me how we did that day.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, we did fantastic. Yeah, exactly. Why aren't those socks being worn every day?
I'm telling you. Well, there's a problem with that, Sean.
yeah, I know. Exactly. Yeah.
We are loading up, folks. If you haven't gotten your wagers in, get them in quickly.
Good luck to everybody.
Yes, Uncle Sully, don't listen to what I say. I faded Wesley Ward, even though I said I had that horse on top, and look what happened. It never fails. I'm telling you, sometimes you change things up and you look like a genius, and sometimes you just look stupid. This would be the latter.
They're all in the gate. And they're off.
They are off. Horses from the outside got a really good break. It looks like I believe that's the 7 outside, isn't it, Sean?
Oh, look at this wall. We got the 1, the 4, the 3, the 10. Everybody going for the lead here.
So there are 2 of our horses up front right now. Genuine Star, who was your 9-5 favorite, got about a half a length over Don Corleone. Live Happy is a half length outside that one in third. It's about another length and a half back to the 10, Le Chifre. And then another couple of links back, the 2 on the inside, the 9 outside that one. The quarter was 21-2. They are flying up front, and the 3 starting to back up a little bit, Sean. And I don't like that at all. The 3 is done.
Yep.
So much for our bet. That horse is just not good. Live Happy.
Come on,
so you got Live Happy up on the front end. The 9 is starting to make a move. Here comes Geno Smith. That was one of our horses. So we're going to get that one home. The 1 is also backing up as we come down the stretch here. It is going to be the 6 horse coming on late.
6,
it
9,
is 6,
5.
9, and 5.
Whoa.
6, 9, 5, 2.
Something happened there.
Yeah.
That was weird.
It was.
Any words? Let's see.
That was not good. Here's the thing. 6, Pierce elevated 15-1.
Yeah.
Over the 9, who we did like. But the other 2 we had just faded badly. They got out in a speed battle going 21 in the quarter. What the heck was that?
Oh, does the 6 come in the 9? Whoa.
Oh, yeah, he did. I think he was already clear to the line.
Yeah, I think so too. But that was interesting.
Yes, he definitely did.
Yeah. But I don't know if that was going to affect the race, though. But
no, because he was at the line when he did.
Yeah.
There's no way that one comes down. It did not affect the order of finish.
Hold on. Let me call them. I have the 9. Let me call the stewards. Give him a talk.
Here we go. Here's another closer look if you're looking.
Let's see.
The 9 was already easing up anyway. The 6 does cut him off for before the line, and it is before the line that he does it.
Yeah. Pierce elevated. That's gonna make the early pick 5 a lot more juicy.
We have an objection, Sean.
We have an objection. There we go. Attaboy Declan, my Irish buddy. I don't know if it cost him the race, but it was before the line, so at least give that.
It was. I thought it was right on the line initially, but looking at it again, it was right before the line. But I don't think it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Personally,
and I have the 9, but
that means nothing. Most of the time, when I say it doesn't affect, the stewards say it did, and when I say it did,
right,
it didn't. Here you go. Here's what I was just talking about. It was like Kyle said that basically he used the 6 based on what I said earlier about Hancock. Way to go.
I don't think that would have caused he definitely came over on him, but I don't think it would have changed the result.
Yes.
If they want to see it differently, I have no problem with them. But
exactly, I never have a problem anyway.
They want to put my horse first. I have no problem with it. But
I agree that I don't think there should be a change.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I've seen crazier things.
Yeah. I think they will say that he did interfere, but it was too close to the line that it wouldn't have made the result change.
I will say that the chances of him coming down are even less because Todd says take him down. So he's probably
there you go. Hope Shoddy bet this 6-9.
I was going to say the same thing right as they finished. I was like the Shoddy special 69.
Let's see, 9s. Let's see here. I mean, no question he does come over on him. That there's no question on that.
Oh, I agree.
No question on that. The question is whether the 9 have passed the. That's the money question. Good for Declan for trying. I mean, Walter Rodriguez and Hancock versus Puhich and Declan. Okay.
I want to know how many more of those tip tops that the formula had because he said, let's fur some more winners.
Yeah.
I know.
No doubt he cuts over. I just don't think I think it's too close to the line. If that's like 5 feet further on the before the line, definitely. You know what I'm saying? But be interesting here.
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, if you look from that angle right there, they're right at the line. There is no
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Oh, now they're adding the 2 in?
Oh, was the 2 claiming on?
Yeah, the 2 is also blinking.
So who are they claiming on the 9? Is he claiming on the 9?
I'm trying to even find the 2.
Maybe he thinks the 9, maybe the 9.
No, I think if you go back at the beginning of the stretch, watch it when they pull it up here. I think the 6 cuts off the 2. Right there. Right there. He definitely does. He definitely does.
Is it the 9 or the 6?
Listen, the 6, no, maybe it was a 9. I got to look at it again.
The one in the red's the 9.
What's that?
The one, is it the blue horse?
Yeah. No. I looking at it again. I think the 9 cuts off the 2.
Yeah.
The 9 is claiming foul against the 6, so listen, this is craziness because if the 9 gets called foul on the 2, which I think is valid, the 9 would go behind the 2. If the 6 is foul on the 9 is valid, then the 6 goes behind the 9. And
right.
Makes the 5 the winner.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And you have a huge.
Listen, I don't think the 6 comes down. I think the 6 stays, but I do think that that foul of the 9 on the 2, that's legit.
I think that
the 9 could legitimately come down, and it could be a 6-5-2.
Yeah, I think they're keeping everything.
They should.
Yeah, I think everybody down that stretch was just going into everybody, and I think
But that was definitely something. To where the 6 and 9 was a little bit less, but
yeah,
if you go back and look at that 9 too, the 2 completely checked up, Sean.
Yeah. No, I'm happy they're keeping my 9 in second. I'll just go away and walk happily. They didn't take my 9 down for the 2. They're just keeping everything like it is.
Did they announce no change?
I'm guessing by the fact that they have unofficial and they didn't change anybody from the 9 to the. Very nice winner circle. Yeah, it's official.
It's official. We are good. Congrats to all the winners.
Yeah, congrats to everybody who cashed. We now move on to
paid really well. 6-9 for $2 pays $220. The 6-9-5 trifecta pays $715 for 50 cents.
Wow.
Craziness.
Yeah, I think they made the right call on everything, Yeah,
I don't disagree. And
Todd.
If you had that 10-cent super for a dime, 6-9-5-2 will get you $14.67.
Yep. Wow. Wow. So we move on to the 6 race.
I responded, Malathot.
And there you go. And we have 6.5 furlongs, allowance 50,000, purse 83,000 for 3-year-olds who have started for a claiming price of 50,000 or less, for which have broken their maiden in the maiden auction race and which have never won a race other than. There you go. There you go, folks. So this is an interesting race. We got some interesting races here tonight. I like this card.
All right, Sean, we got this one and 2 more. We got 3 races left and 80 bucks. Let's turn it around.
Yep, we're doing fine. Yep, we'll get it. All right. Okay, and let's
Sean, I know this one is yours,
Yeah.
so I will go ahead if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. Yep, absolutely, my friend.
So the horse I have on top is the number 7 horse, Art Fair. I'm kind of hoping that this horse does not win because I don't want Fap questioning his cashing that ticket in a little bit. But to talk about this one, so again, this is an allowance $50,000 race, and if you look, this one was at that level last time at Keeneland. That race was in the slop. This horse on a wet track, that was the best finish. Second, had finished out of the money previously on a wet track, but again, that was at 7 furlongs. Now we're backing up a little bit to 6.5. This one just got beat in that last one, so should like the slight cutback here. Third off a layoff, which is another angle I like. And Mark Cassey and Florent Giroux. Florent Giroux got a win earlier tonight. I believe he did, and maybe he finished in the money. I'd have to go back and look just to be sure. But don't quote me on that. But he had a good ride earlier in the card when we were talking about him for sure. But this is one that I definitely think calculates in here. I did have that one on top. After that one, I've got the 8 Suited and Booted. Another one that is third race period. Had a first race in February, then came back in March, and now coming back after having broken the maiden, but has moved forward in each race. Those two were at Turfway, so they were on the synthetic, going to try dirt for the first time. But if you're looking at the works, I mean, the works look pretty decent across the board, but I like to open up all the works and try to find something on dirt that gives me an indication, Sean. But this horse has every single work on the synthetic. But look, when you're looking at connections, is anybody in the country harder than Brad Cox right now?
Not at all. No.
And Vincent Chaminade has been riding really well. We talked about this a little bit on Saturday and last week in the lounge. He's riding decently. I think he won some races over the weekend as well. At least on Oaks Day, I know he won a couple. That's a horse that I would definitely include. And then my third pick here is one that I'm going to go with a little bit of a price, Sean, and that's the Biscuit getting up for John Ennis. Neither one of these guys have done very well so far at the meet, but I just think that this horse could be moving forward a little bit. If you look at the races early in the year at Turfway, then comes to Keeneland and won a $50,000 maiden race. And that speed figure was better than anything else the horse had run, and puts the horse right in contention here. A little bit below everybody else, but if moves forward a little bit off of that race, Sean, I think that horse can definitely play a part underneath and at a pretty decent price of 16-1 currently off a 6-1 morning line. So for me, that is 7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9. Okay. I'm looking here. Yeah, this is an interesting race for sure. I mean, there's a lot of speed in here. Between the 4 and the 7, just in here in terms of 7's definitely got speed. Ran well at Churchill. It's interesting. The 7 Art Fair lost to Owen Almighty.
Yes.
And is running against Punch Ben Jack's Promise too. Guys, that's some legit horses there. Interesting. 21-44. Now, see if you're a little bit. This is what I'm a little bit worried about. If you're these horses, is the fact that the 4 runs 21-44s. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, but interesting at Churchill, ran a 22-45, so he's running faster at Fairgrounds than he was at Churchill Downs.
Yep.
I thought that was interesting. That think this guy's 22.45, so he's kind of close. It's an interesting, because I was kind of looking at this race and like, it's very interesting. Horses come from turf when you hit the dirt running. Yeah, it doesn't bother me none about the 8. Yeah. Hot Rod loves Brad Cox, so we know. Exactly. So we know that. And most of the time he does great. So it's just interesting. I had a bomb in this race, but they scratched it. Yeah, so this is interesting when you look and see. There's a lot of quote speed in here. Yep, next Tuesday. Yep. Yes, sir. It's happening.
The opening night at Assiniboia. So for those that have been along with us the last couple of years, we had Monday night flights. Assiniboia has changed their calendar this year. They're only going to run Mondays every 3 weeks. We're not going to bounce back and forth between Mondays and Tuesdays. So we're just going to keep it every Tuesday. So starting next week, we will be at Assiniboia Downs. It's post time.
Love it. Exactly. And the return of Anna Kazana. Exactly. She is back. Exactly.
Sean's favorite horse.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And folks, it's gonna be a doozy.
It's definitely gonna be a doozy.
Exactly. My man up there.
We love it. We love Assiniboia.
Oh yeah. Yep.
In case you didn't notice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
We love Assiniboia Downs.
And return of my man Antonio Whitehall. Yeah. So yes, this is, to me, this is a fascinating race, because the interesting thing is and see what you think here. The 4 runs 21s at Fairgrounds, but can the 7 clear this field? Do you think?
I think so, Sean. And well, I mean, there was one other horse that I had on the speed, and that was definitely going to be the 4. I think the 4.
Yeah.
But I don't like the 4 to finish. And the thing about it is, Sean, if I'm looking at Floron and I'm looking at Frankie Dettori, I think Frankie is going to want to go out for the lead. But Frankie, as you mentioned earlier, I'm almost fading everything the guy's riding right now.
Yeah. No,
because I mean, he hadn't even finished in the money yet at Churchill. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
So I think the 4 is the only other threat to speed. And if he doesn't go, then the 7 just runs away from everybody. But I'm going to take Mark Cassie and Florent Giroux over Connections on the 4.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Just trying to see here. Because the interesting thing is that Brad's got, and Michel Manon's ridden this horse twice, so he knows this horse, which is, I just don't know if if the 4 is going to be able to hold on, with this group, Yep. And it's interesting. We got the 9, we got the 10. This is interesting. We got, and again, even the 10 could show speed, versus this group, Louis Size will be right there on the outside with 40 Love, So
I've got the 10 sitting just off the pace, but with Sias up, it definitely scares you. But I definitely think this one sits off the top pair.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But the 10 is one, especially at the price, Sean, the 10 is one maybe you want to add in underneath.
Yeah.
I will tell you that the formula picks are 8, 7, 4, 10.
8, 7, 4, 10. The interesting horse to me, and see what you think about this, right? I like the fact that the 3, right, is 1-for-1 at Churchill Downs, right? If there's a real meltdown up front, this 3 might be able to get at least into the picture, I mean, he ran fourth at 100. I know it was around 2 turns, but I mean, he was running against Rock Solo and Iron Sharpens Iron, you know. And Magic Mover was in that race, and it did come in third. But you know, but I'm looking at, but he was speed, you know. So I thought that was interesting that this 3 does like to close. If we have a real hot pace up front, you know, this 3 could be right in it, you know.
Yeah, I just don't see the pace being that hot. I mean,
That's my problem. You know,
I see 2 horses that want to be on the lead in the 4 and the 7, and I'm not sure that the 4 has the staying power, and anybody's worried about the 4. Yeah, the 5 is showing a little bit of speed, but that is much cheaper speed in this race. So if you're looking at speed, to me, the 7 is speed of the speed.
Yeah,
speed of the speed is a big deal, and it's just why I put the 7 on top. But
because even Charbonnet and those 2 Churchill Downs races haven't been, you know, like they were versus better, but you know what I'm saying. But you know, he hasn't shown a lot of speed on the Churchill track.
No, he's over 2, and I've got him as an off the pace type. And
exactly.
I was just double checking the formula picks, and he does as well. He's got him 2 tiers back.
Okay, so you know what, Tim? Hit the button. I'm ready.
Let's do it.
First pick in the race 6. Spin selects. I'm going to do a $2 exacta box. 3, 7, 8.
I like it.
I'm going to try to see if I can get that 3 in the picture at a price.
That'll cost you $12.
Yep.
We'll update the bankroll.
Yep.
Yes. And you know, if you were listening to the formula, he would tell you if he were here that I would agree with that sentiment and multiple comments that I've made lately, but I'm pretty sure that I could ride Art Fair to a win here. And we'd be going at just a little bit more than 120 pounds.
Yep.
But I do like Sean's pick of the 3 as a little bit of a sneaky pick here.
Yeah.
Gabe's another one who's riding Ophir. So if you're looking at the Ophirs in here, I mean, Gabe on the 3 is an Ophir. Frankie right now is riding an Ophir. And I'm talking no money places whatsoever. And then the Biscuit right now is on an Ophir. If you're looking at best jockey in the race, by far it's the 10. But Peter Yurton, California trainer at Churchill, not one of my favorite angles.
He's still got to learn. He's still got to learn the track, you know.
And this horse is, you know, first time against winners, so that's a big step up.
Yeah,
most of these have been facing winners.
Absolutely.
The only other one that's stepping up from a maiden win is the 8, Suited and Booted. Mm-hmm. And Formula does have that one on top. I've got that one second, and that was one of my considerations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also moving from the poly to the dirt for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Jenny, I'm with you. 7 looks amazing on the track, by the way.
It does, yeah. Now, it should be interesting to know. So Peter Yurton has moved full-time now to the East Coast. So I think once his horses get a little bit more suited, he could probably do a little bit better. But, you know,
yeah, it's going to take a little bit, but you're right.
Yeah, no, but I agree. But Jenny, I couldn't agree with you more on that one right now. Until he gets the feel of these tracks, he's not a big use to me at all.
Yep. And until he starts doing better, just like Sean said, he was a toss for me. I didn't have him in mind. And I love Sias.
Yeah.
The way he's riding right now, especially with Tyler out, when you get these Thursday card, a lot of the other guys, Jose, who's been riding really well in Kentucky, he's not here right now. You know, obviously IRAD only comes in for big days and sometimes on the weekend if he's not riding big horses in Naira. But so Sias is the man. He really is.
No doubt.
Is Junior coming back, Sean? Is Junior coming back to ride Churchill?
This weekend, I think he's in New York for a while.
Yeah.
I think, you know what? I know hold on a second. I can tell you right now. 1 second. Tell you in 2 seconds. He's been in New York riding for a couple of days, but I know his exact schedule. 1 second. Give me 2 seconds here.
Yeah. And if you look, a lot of the trainers who typically use Tyler a lot, they're searching right now. And by searching, I am telling you, they are hopping from jockey to jockey right now, looking for somebody. Sias has picked up some every now and then, but he's got his guys he always rides for because he always rides Kentucky. I know that when IRAD was here, there was one day that he was picking up like all of Tyler's typical mounts that he would have gotten. And then you look at a day like today, and in a race like this, I would say the horse that Tyler would be on is the 4.
Yeah.
Frankie is getting that ride. And to me, it's just like people are like searching as to who to put on their horses here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, no, Junior's in New York the whole weekend. So he will not be riding at Churchill.
Got it.
This weekend.
Late scratch of the 4. The 4 is out.
Does that change things, huh?
And now, Sean, to me, the 7 is even a bigger favorite because the 7 is lone speed pretty much.
Yeah.
And which is why the horse is 4 to 5. Fap, if you're watching, turn off the TV.
Yeah. That's a huge scratch of the 4.
Yeah, Formula, if you weren't here a second ago, we were talking about it. You see my hat back there. I had it on my head a second ago, but somebody asked and we were talking about it. Starting next week, every Tuesday, we will be at Assiniboia Downs. Assiniboia, if you haven't played Assiniboia, you got to try it. We all love it. It's a great track. The horses run back quickly. It's a small stable and colony, and it's like the same horses run over and over. You get to know the horses pretty well. It's a lot of fun. You remember the races, so I enjoy it. Yeah, Jenny, I was 7-8, but I like Sean's 3 and the 9. I would almost play a 7 with the 8 with a 3-9, and then I would play a 7 with a 3-9 with the 8. And just so you know, I'm punching those 2 trifectas in myself right now. 7, with 8 with 3-9, and then I'm going to play 7 with 3-9 with 8.
It'll be interesting to see if anyone does go out with the 7. I think the 7's too quick for them, but
I do too. I think they can try. Good luck.
Yeah, I think the 4 would have definitely been right with him, but
JG Funk's going 6-8 exacta box. Good luck with that one. If you bring it home 6-1 and 7-2, that'll pay. Good luck. As Colin says, if you're watching, make sure you smash that like button. We have 151 watching us right now.
Absolutely.
If you're watching from X and you're not on YouTube, go ahead, slide over there, click that link, slide over, and just long enough to hit the like and subscribe button. Should have maybe some Preakness stuff coming up next week.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Talk about that race.
And they're off. Wow. The 7 didn't get the lead. Wow. Okay.
I think he will.
Yeah. I'm
He,
saying
he let the other speed, and now here he goes.
Yeah.
So there's Art Fair on the inside, the 9 and the 10 outside that one. And right now it's those three up front. The quarter was in a okay pace, 22 and 3. You've got Art Fair on the lead. Charbonnet is sitting at 15-1 just outside that one. It's another length and a half back to Bermuda Blitz and 40 Love side by side. We are 2x2 up front. The 8 horse from the back in 5th position starting to make a little bit of a move. The half was in 45 and 3.
Right.
As we hit the top of the stretch, it's those two up front. Art Fair down on the inside, Charbonnet to the outside. Art Fair trying to fight back from the rail.
Come on, 8 and 3
on the far
Come
outside.
on, 8 and 3 Come on, 8 and 3
8.
Come on, 3
3 from the far outside.
Come on, 3 Come on, baby. Come on.
Here it is. Here it is.
You got him. Come on.
Get up, 3.
There could be another inquiry there.
It was 8 over the 3. We'll take it for sure.
We'll take it. Yep.
But we wanted that 3 to get up on top at 9-1.
Yeah. Oh,
nice call, Sean.
He went down to 6-1.
Was it? I was just looking at my.
He got hammered. No, he got hammered. He was 10. There could be an inquiry here, though.
Oh yeah, the screen shows 6-1, but my ADW.
Well, watch. He definitely this 8 definitely comes out on my 3.
Yeah, there it is, 6-1.
Oh yeah,
no maybe doubt. A little bit, maybe a little bit.
Absolutely, and that was before the line. That
was Sean. They have posted. We do have an inquiry.
Yep.
So this is not a jockey objection. This is the stewards have posted the inquiry sign. Yeah. So they're going to take a look. So we're going to hopefully get this 6-1 on top. So let's take a look at our exacta will pays right now. As it finished, it's 8-3, which is almost 15-1. But if we get the 3-8, we're almost 24-1.
Yeah. Let's see here.
So if we can get that turned around backwards. Yeah, I think he interfered.
Yeah, I do too.
He completely stood the jockey up. And Fap, way to go, buddy.
Yeah.
Way to go, Fap.
Great job on cashing out, buddy.
Way to take the money. That's exactly what you should have done. And this is why.
Oh,
7 was nowhere to be found.
Let's see here. I mean, we're talking only a half inch of distance here. Let's see. Whipping him to the left. Oh, he's definitely coming out.
I think so. Oh yeah. He completely. Oh, yeah. He's coming down, folks. We're gonna have a 3-8. He's coming down.
Oh, yeah, he's whipping him left-handed.
Yeah. And he runs him straight into him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's whipping them left-handed. I don't know what they're.
Just so you know, we will have a $2. So hopefully, if we get that, that'll be a $50 payout. 40, almost 48, 47.80. As it is with the 8-3, it's only a $30 payout. So we would definitely.
He's all over the track. Yeah,
he is.
The 8's all over the track, and then then he goes to the left, and he's coming. Yeah,
I definitely think he comes.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
But if you look right there, he was 4 lengths away from him, and he went all the way out to him.
Yeah.
And then just like bumped into him before the wire. Yes, he's coming down.
Yeah. And unlike the last race where my 9 horse was never passing the winner. You know what I'm saying? He was never passing the winner. He could have passed him here.
Oh, I agree, because if you look, he's got momentum. Watch right here, and then he just stops running. So right there,
you're talking a half length right there. You know,
yeah. It definitely impacted his chances to win, which is what it should be. That's the way.
Where before in the race before where I had the 9, it did not affect his chance to win. He was not going to pass the horse.
Affect the outcome of the race. Call it, stewards. Let me get on the bat phone here, Sean.
Yeah, exactly.
Call the box.
I mean, he goes out 4 or 5 pats. It's not like he's just going one, you know.
Yeah, he comes way out. Look at that right there. Look how far out he is.
Yeah.
Now, and I should say, but then look how far out. I mean, that he's 4 or 5 horse lengths away from him, and then comes all the way out to him. Definitely coming down, in my opinion. Although the stewards give 2 shits about my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely hit him.
That is never in the history of the game, Sean, kept me from stating.
Right, exactly. I mean, he's coming out 4 or 5 paths there. He's not just he's coming out like, you know.
Yeah, and when you're watching when you're watching the two together, watch right here. Right as he bumps him, look at the left. Look how he's got momentum, and watch right there.
Yeah.
See how his head turns, and then he falls back. There's been a change.
Reverse him.
Disqualified and plays second.
Only winners in the lounge.
Nice call, Sean.
Thank you, sir. I love that 3.
Well done. What's up, Paul Nolan?
Hey, Paul. How are you, buddy?
From across the pond. Thanks for joining us. That's going to be nice, Sean. The 3-8, 23.90 to 1.
Yeah.
Great job. Yes, they did, Bobby D. So it is a 3-8, which we have. Thanks to our friend Sean. He called the 3. If you look at our bet, we had the 3, 7, and 8 in an exacta box.
Oh, Paul. Yeah, they're just shooting threes, buddy. The Celtics are just shooting. They're beating the tar out of the Knicks for 3 quarters, and they just go into this 3-point ISO ball with no movement, and the Knicks come back, and that's going to have to change on the road. Thanks, Hot Rod.
Hey, Hot Rod, I'm going to say this. You say where this when you need them. Listen, nobody ever needs the New York Stewards. I'm telling you. That and what you say that might have been a love tap in New York, but that deserved to come down. I totally disagree. And that horse deserved to come out. He impeded that horse's progress.
Yeah.
He came out
4 or 5.
He came from being 4 lengths away to the inside. It's like, I'm sorry. Nobody wants those New York stewards. They can stay up in New York. That's why I don't bet Naira.
Right.
Unless it's the Belmont. It's official. It's not yet. I'm just trying to get them. There it is.
We're just hoping
they heard me. They heard me.
We're just hoping it's official.
It's official. Okay, now it is. Way to go.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Irving Moncada.
So the 3-8 exacta for $2, $47.80, Sean.
Not bad. There you go.
We will take that. Let me add it to the bankroll. And Sean, that puts us at 115.51
Wonderful.
with 2 races to go.
Thank you, sir.
Somebody's off their
Oh, terrible.
I was just going to say, somebody's off their friggin' rocker in this race.
1 to 5.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Whoa.
Somebody's off their rocker.
There you go. Wow. Okay. On the turf. Let's see what these people are looking at here.
I don't know what they're looking at.
Huh. All right. I'll be back in 1 second, my good man.
Sure, no problem. Yeah, some craziness. So the 9 opens up as a 1 to 5 favorite off a 5 to 1 morning line. But if you're looking at the will pays in here, the double will pay has 1 and then the 9 and then the 2-10. The pick 3 has the 1, then the 9, then the 10 and 2. And that's with the 3 in the second leg, which is the horse that won. But if you had the 4 based on the late scratch, there are some consolations as well for the pick 3. Yeah, 9 is craziness, Paul. No, I would say definitely don't take that. I do not have the 9 on top. That's why I say there's some craziness going on here. We'll wait and talk about it when Sean gets back and when we run through it really quickly. But I mean, if you like the 9 and you love the 9, evidently other people do. I mean, you're welcome to take it, but I'm going to pass on some 1 to 5 odds in a race like this. Because there is no one in this race that deserves that kind of money. Yeah. I would not be in a hurry either. It's crazy. I bet the last race, and out of the others that we've done so far, I've only made 2 wagers out of all the races we've done personally. Just kind of been chilling a little bit after Saturday.
Now we're back. There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
So, Sean, we got 60 minutes real quick before we go. Now it's my turn. I'm going to refill my glass.
Yep.
For the last
Go ahead,
2
my friend.
races, and we'll be
Yes. There we go. We are here for a good time, and so is the one. Okay, Shai, how do I enter my bet? I'm new to this. Shai, are you on a betting? What betting thing are you on? What are you trying to bet? I can try to help you. Do you want to just bet 1 horse? Do you want to bet 2 horses? Do you want to bet 3? Are you just trying to bet win or place or show, which is first, second, or third? Bet 365. Okay. And then how many are you just trying to bet 1 horse? Are you trying to bet a couple of horses? I can help whatever you need there. Okay, there you go. That's okay, Irene. You can, hey, that's why we run the race on paper, my friend. Well, we have a 1.16 on the turf, optional claiming 125, non-winners of 1, purse 127 for fillies and 3-year-olds, which have never won a race other than, and that is Tim's favorite class. So this would be interesting here for sure. Yeah, exactly. So we're looking at these. Good reason. There we go. So Joe Christovic picked the 9 here. He writes solid second and tough Lacombe, rested and ready. Okay, yeah. And then let me see here. So we'll go to that and check there. Love and poetry. Yeah, this is Sherry DeVoe. I mean, this horse barely lost to Fionn, and oh yeah, how do you get your hands on a spin hat? Exactly. they'll be they'll be on sale soon. See the spin hat? There you go. But yeah, stay tuned. Usually I just bet places, but I'm wondering what's the best way to bet on a race for best outcome, if that makes sense. No, yeah, it all depends, Shai. Like in this race, and I'll give a little teaching moment here. And Bob's picks are 5, 8, and 9. Good luck, Bob. It's in this race right now. You have a 1 to 9 shot or 1 to 5 shot. What do we got here? 1 to 4. Okay. So generally, right now, anything you bet, if you don't like the 9, your odds are going to be huge because if you beat him, that's going to be big. But if the 9 wins, almost anything behind you is not going to pay, unless it's like a 31, 37 to 1. That's going to be nice, but you need a longer shot because any favorite, second or third favorite that's behind them is going to pay nothing. So you have to kind of, it varies by race. And like if you like a person typical bets for place, this probably isn't the best race to do it because if the 9 comes in second, you're going to get 210 or 220. So that's really not worth a bet of that stature. So, but if you can get an exacta, and here's another thing, if you like the 9, I'll just give you an example, like the 1 and the exacta pays. Let me see what the 9-1 pays here. That pays $13 for a dollar. That's $26. If you really like an exacta, then that's the way to play it in a race like this with a 1 to 4. Try to get a horse to see if you can beat it, and if he doesn't, it's a great way to do it. So, exactly. So Bob Jackson will toss the 9 and pair up the 5-8 for an exacta. So I should raffle one off every lounge. There you go, Todd. Exactly. I only have one though. So I wish I had other ones, but this is the only one. My great friend Heather Prian made it for me up at Canada. She made this for me. So
yes, it would be one raffle and done.
Yeah, it would be one raffle and done. There'd be no other hats.
Sean's not giving it up.
So could you explain the Omni Swinger wager? Okay, what that is you try to get 2 horses in the second and one in the top 3, and they have to just come in the top 3. Basically, is what it is, and it's an interesting bet. It usually doesn't. It pays more in Australia. That they've tried it in Canada and it doesn't pay that much, and then down here as well, it pays much more in Australia because in Australia you got 18 horses. So I mean, sometimes in a race, so it'd be easier to, Tim to mass production those races. They sell like hotcakes. Exactly.
I mean, Sean is the mayor of X, so he knows everybody in the game.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to want one.
So this is an interesting race, Tim. Obviously, I think it'd be pretty, to say that it goes through Love and Poetry. I don't think that would be a stretch. You know what I'm saying? Do I think she's 1 to 4? Absolutely not.
Right.
I don't think she's 1 to 4, but I at the same time, now, interestingly for Tim here, the 10 is double velocity. Okay. Saffie Joseph, this horse for Roger Atfield ran a monster, right? But now it's trained by Saffie Joseph, right? And it's owned by C2 Racing Stables. Do we know any horses that are owned by the C2 Racing Stables? That would be White Mario.
Let me think.
Yeah, there he is. The horse who's going to be running the Met Mile. And let me tell you, what a Met Mile that is going to be.
It's a hell of a field.
Talk about all-star of all-stars.
Yeah,
Good
it's
Lord.
a great field.
Yeah, looking at the 5 and the 3. Okay, so let me give Tim my selections here. Okay,
Good.
now I'm not going to be naive here. You know what I'm saying? Now, at 1 to 4, will I try to beat her? Absolutely. But she was my top pick. I don't think it's out of to say that she deserves to be the top pick. I mean, ran a huge maiden race at Fairgrounds, and then almost won against Fionn, who's a very, very talented young horse too, and just barely lost. But did struggle at Keeneland, so comes back but has been working very well at Churchill. So obviously, so that she's obviously in good form, you can tell. But so it'll be interesting to see how she handles. And again, Tim knows this. Some horses hate the Keeneland turf course, but go over to the Churchill Downs course and they love it. So maybe she'll love it. But who do we try to get to try to beat her? That is the question of the day. And we'll go here to in this race. My pick here was the 2 Poema. Luan Machado and Paula Lobo. Let me go. Yeah, 29 to 1. I didn't expect to get that 29 to 1. But this horse has run some very, very solid races here. Interesting that he's coming off a layoff, but Paulo Lobo's the master of these. He's like 12%. He's very good. He's not great with first-time Lasix, and that's something that is not great with 29. That's a large sample. But interesting here, Tim, which is funny, is that the 1's double. Did you notice the 1's double is lower than the 9, which I find funny about this? The 1 was my 4th pick. I'm kind of jumping around here, but the 9 was my first. The second pick was the 10 double velocity. And I really like this horse, Safi Joseph. This was Roger Atfield's horse. This horse ran like a monster at Keeneland, and I think he can only improve. Johnny V's coming in from New York today to ride. I think this horse is going to run a huge race here tonight. And so I was 9, then 2, then 10, then 1.
9, 2, 10, 1.
And I'm throwing out the 5 because Frankie's just not riding good at all.
Yep, I would agree with that statement.
I think the horse has a chance, but I just don't like.
Yeah. So Sean, I've got all of those horses in my picks, and they're. I'll just say this: I like the 10 on top. I like the 10 on top a lot.
Yeah,
and I will say the formula picks actually have the 10 on top as well. So
yeah,
I like that. But you mentioned the 5 and fading because of Frankie, and I totally agree with that. But in addition to the horses that you mentioned, there are 2 more that actually scare me underneath.
Okay.
So one of those is the 7 Scatitude.
Yeah.
And that's BJ getting up for Joe Sharp. Listen, the Joe Sharp barn is on fire. Okay, so Joe Sharp has had 17 entries, and he's got 2 firsts, 4 seconds, and a third. So he's 7 out of 17 in the money.
And these 2 only do 31% together.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. So so far at Churchill, just this meet, 31% and a $4.23 $4.23 return on investment. So they are on fire. And then you look at that 26 April bullet work at Keeneland.
Yeah.
Smoking. So the 7 kind of concerns me a little bit.
No doubt. Yeah. The 2-turn thing was the one that,
coming up a maiden win and sprinting, and now we're going 2 turns. So yes, it's definitely going to have to do that. But this is a closer and gets probably the guy that knows Churchill better than anybody riding in the course.
Absolutely.
Okay. So the 7 scares me a little bit as an underneath pick.
Sure.
And then I'm going to throw one more in there. And that is Birkin Girl, the 3. And the thing about the Birkin Girl that scares me is maybe the guy that's riding better than anybody right now in Kentucky. But when you combine Keeneland and Churchill, and that's Ben Curtis.
Yes, absolutely.
And I said this on Saturday, and we won some money with at least one horse that
yes, we did.
Ben
Benny and the Jets. Yep.
And Ben was actually on fire, and this horse at a little bit of a price is something for Ben Colebrook that I kind of like. So Ben
that was the Godolphin horse that won the turf sprint where he just came flying perfectly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Ben gives his horse everything. He gets everything out of the horse that he can.
Does. Absolutely.
And this is one that's dropping down from straight allowance class. So definitely a horse to consider underneath. So it's a little bit convoluted in here. So we're taking a quick look and we'll make our decision. We got 4 minutes.
And 1 for 1 too at Churchill Downs, which is big too.
So I'm gonna put it together real quick, Sean. So.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. James White, how are you, buddy? As a tri-key 9 with the 13710. Poema 29 to 1 on the total is 17 to 2 on bet 365. Bobby D's got exacta 5182 and winning place on the 3. Is that this race? Bobby, if I read I think I'm going to win place in the 2 and Keen the 2 and the exacta with 178. Okay, there you go. I'm a little shocked that the 2's 29 to 1. It's 23 to 1. I've seen worse horses than that, that's for sure. The only thing, if I'm looking at the 2, folks, is that the buyers are a little bit down versus everybody else. Need to get those up a little bit, but it can. Machado has ridden this horse before and almost won in a mile. Interesting. Hey, Kevin Plaucha. How are you, buddy? Great to see you. Don't mind the price on the 5. Yeah, no, absolutely not. Sherbini. Yeah, the only thing is, Kevin, I until Frankie Dettori starts riding with confidence, I can't, I think horse has a chance, and it's a first-time turf for Kase.
All right, Sean, I think we're there.
Okay.
So look, we only got 2 races left, and we got a little bit left here, and we're over right now. So I don't want to spend a ton, but I don't want to be afraid to spend a little bit of money here and try to win.
Yeah.
So we are going to play a $1 trifecta key, and we're keying, not key boxing. I think the 10 wins this race. I don't care how much money's on the 9.
Yeah.
We're going to key the 10 on top with the 1, 2, 3, 7, 9.
Yep, perfect. Yep.
And we got some horses in there that are paying a little bit of money, and we're throwing out the 5 a little bit for the reasons that Sean just said, but we're including the 9 and hoping the 9 is out of there. But I think those other horses have the potential to pay. So it's a $20 total wager.
Yep.
And we're going to take a shot and see how we do.
Yep.
That puts us at, with 1 race left, Sean, we're still at $95.
See, right there. We are right there for the taking.
I mean, getting to the last race as if we had only spent $4.50 a whole day.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Gotta love it. And ideally, we want a 1, 2, 3, 7 anywhere underneath with the 2, 3, and 7. We'd prefer the 1 and 9 be out of there. Get that 2, 3, 7. I can understand a win bet on the 1, Kevin, and a 5 to 1. Listen, I would play against Love and Poultry at even money to win this race, which is what we're doing.
Yeah. The 1's double, Kevin, is lower than the 9. So someone thought the 1 was going to run for sure.
Exactly. But we are loading up for the next to last race, the penultimo. And we're all loaded, and they are off. Slow start for the 10 from the outside, but recovers a little bit. Pinches the 9 to the back. We like that. 7 up front, though, is going to take the lead as we head into the first turn. From the outside, the 8 is going to take second position. In between horses, the 6. Down on the rail, the 5 was in fourth, just being passed by the 10 as we head into the clubhouse turn. Is another length back to the 1 horse on the rail. The 4 sits just outside that one. Another length to the 3 down on the rail. 2 more back to the horses trailing the field. That's the 2. And last of all is your
9.
favorite, the 9. Up front, they went to the corner.
2
and 3. Scatitude is one of our horses up front with about a length and a half over a nail, sitting back in second. Just inside that one is Sherbini. Right now, double velocity. Our horse we need is sitting in fourth and starting to be asked for just a little bit. The half was in 46 and 2. Double velocity starting to make a little bit of a move, but up front, as my feed goes out, as it likes to do on the
7 is still in the lead. The 8 is right to the 5, moving up strongly.
Here comes Sherbini. We don't need Sherbini to be apart. We win against Frankie here. Our 10 is not doing the job and moving forward as we need. It's going to
not moving at all. Yeah.
Attitudes is the 1 that I really talked about. Here comes the 1, Sean.
Yep.
I love Scatitude. The 9 is coming late from last, but is not going to get up. And there is that 1. The 1 I told you, Kevin. I love that pick. 179.
179.
179.
Yeah, and Louis, and they were right. The double was lower on the, and interesting. The 1 had run on the lead the last time, and Louis brought him from the back today. You know.
Yeah. And that's why I told you, Sean, when you talked about your horses, that the Scatitude was a horse that scared me because Joe Sharp and Brian Hernandez, it's like bullet work at Keeneland. It just
he was live.
That horse was going to be live coming into this race.
It would be interesting. There will be no inquiry, but I want to watch the start there. I wonder if the 10 took out the 9, you know? Let's see this on the replay. Oh no, the 9 took out the 9.
Exactly.
Yeah. The 9 broke to the left and just didn't have enough to beat the 3 of them. Yeah. Interesting. That was interesting.
Kevin Plauch a win bet on the 1.
Great job, Kevin. He can win. He can win it.
2.
Yeah. Mel thought 1. Good job there, bud.
Our 10 did not do anything though, Sean.
No. Johnny V at times has been a little bit on the turf, a little bit, inconsistent, but
should have gone with Luisi on the turf.
Yeah. He just Brendan Walsh, Louis Saez. Are there 2 hotter people right now than Brendan Walsh and Louis Saez?
No, that combo right now, they're 23% for the year, even though they're down a little bit at Churchill, but their overall ROI for the year is 264. If you'd have bet $2 on every horse the combo put together, you would have gotten back 264 by now.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Bet.
Great ride. Louis, I can see why Louis smiling every race. And boy, did he own this weekend. My God.
Yeah. And it's just like I was just saying though, Sean, and no offense against anybody else that's riding at Churchill right now, but Luis is a standout.
Yeah. Right now. Oh yeah.
He's a standout rider. And I would say BJ's right there. BJ's probably second best right now, but I think it's those 2 and everybody else. And look in this race, Luis over BJ.
Louis sent a card, by the way, today. He said, "Dear Jose, please stay in New York. Don't come back to Churchill." I'm like, I'll split it with you. Man.
179.
179.
So we had the underneath horses. We just didn't have.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Huh? That was a tough one.
It was.
All these races tonight have been extremely challenging. Kudos to the racing secretary. He's put some challenging races together that, you know. Is it official?
I haven't seen it go official yet. It's still unofficial.
Still unofficially unofficial.
It's unofficially official. And it's official. All right. One race left. 153 people watching, Sean.
Yes.
We are 3 hours in. The
Yep.
Churchill card for the first time this year on the Cocktail Lounge. We will be doing Churchill for a couple of weeks until we get Woodbine coming back on Thursday nights. And then we will transition from Churchill back to our regular Woodbine card for Thursday night at the Cocktail Lounge. And one of the reasons we do that as much as any is our friends at Woodbine allow they're gracious hosts. They allow us to show the races. That way you don't have to listen to Sean and I and our horrible calls of the race compared to those guys. They're professionals. They know what they're doing, and we get to show the race for you. So make sure you tune in.
Absolutely.
But we got one more to turn things around, Sean. We're right there. We're sitting at $95. Don't be afraid to throw a little money at this one, and we'll see what happens.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Yes, Irene, we show them when we're allowed. We would love nothing more than to show the races. But I will also add this, starting next week, we are at Assiniboia Downs on Tuesday night, and we are allowed to show the Assiniboia races.
Yes.
So our friends in Canada, Assiniboia on Tuesdays and Woodbine on Thursdays, they allow us to show the races. And
they do,
here in the States, they're afraid of us helping them make money.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yes, you're right, Kevin. Travis is great.
He is fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
So once we get Assiniboia next week on Tuesday, and then we get back to Woodbine on Thursday, all of our broadcasts will have the races shown as part of what we do.
Yep, absolutely.
But you know what we need to do, Sean, and we've been talking about this. At some point, you and I need to go up for the Manitoba Derby.
Yes, there you go. That would be fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
So here we are in the last race of the day. All right, and let me read the conditions here. 6.5 furlongs, allowance 50,000, purse 83,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, which have started for a claiming price of 50,000 or less, which have never broken their maiden in the maiden auction race, and which have never won a race other than maiden claiming or waiver claiming. And we don't have any scratches here, I don't think. Yeah, we have the 9. Yeah, Meza, California is scratched. Everybody else in the last race remains.
And as a result of that scratch, Sean, the 13 draws into the race. So the 13 spot away draws into the race. So we do have a full field of 12.
Yeah, who already has a race. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, 13. Yeah, there we go. Austin High. There we go. And let us know who you guys like here. Yeah, and there you go. Yeah, the traditional opening ceremony is great. Absolutely. Yeah, JG Funk, join us anytime, my friend. Yep. Yeah, I can't wait, Kevin. Absolutely. Love to have you all. Absolutely. And All right, Tim. Who was your favorites here in the last race?
So let me take a quick peek at the odds, Sean, and just like always, it's just like it blows my mind. I get super excited because I land on the horses, I handicap the card, and I'm like, yes, I like a horse that's a bit of a price, because I talked about earlier, when I handicap, I use daily racing form. I turn the morning lines off. The morning lines odds, so that when I handicap, that doesn't influence me. And then I turn them on after I'm completely done with all the races. And I like to see when I picked horses on top that are at a morning line price. And I did that in this race with number 2 Tiger Division.
Okay.
And number 2 Tiger Division, when you look at this horse, Sean, this horse squeaks in the conditions.
Yeah.
When you look at the conditions here, we're talking about for fillies, 3-year-olds and up, which have started for a claiming price or less, or which have broken their maiden in a maiden auction race, or which have never won a race other than maiden claiming or waiver claiming. So if you look at the 2, though, the 2 is like class of the rest of the race. Okay. And you look at the morning line, and I was like 10-1 morning line on this horse, who has basically run in straight maiden special weights, did run the optional claimer. So there's how we meet the conditions. Then we come back to allowance. Or I'm sorry, I switched it over. So we ran the maiden special weights. We broke the maiden. So the only win we have is in maiden. There's how we meet the conditions. And then we run a stakes race, the Cincinnati Trophy. Yes, we didn't do well, but we got a horse who breaks a maiden in maiden special weight and runs in a stakes race. Granted, the last 2 races, the win and the stakes were on the poly. But as we've seen, horses coming in from Turfway are doing really well. But the one thing I talked about a little bit earlier tonight is I like to look down, and other than when you've got a horse coming from the poly, how are we working?
Yeah.
John, how are we working with the Tiger?
We are absolutely flying right now.
We are lights out. Go back to 23 April. We went a 5 furlong, 59-4, 3rd of 21 for the day. And then we come back on the 2nd of May, and we run a bullet 47 flat 4 furlongs.
Yeah.
Rusty Arnold coming in, gets Corey Lannery up. Corey knows his way around the Churchill surface. He's a regular here.
Yeah.
So when you look at who's here right now, I don't have any qualms in going with Corey based on how this horse is working, the back class and everything. This is in Omaha Beach. I think this horse is kind of a standout. And I didn't think we'd get 10-1, but I didn't think we'd either be 5-1 either. So we have dropped a little bit. I think others see what we're talking about here. So we're prices dropped, but I still think it's valid. Then we've got the 7, who is currently your favorite. I've got the 7 second. I'm going to try to beat the 7 with the 2, but the 7 makes sense. I get Gerland's Empire here coming in from the fairgrounds. For those who don't know, the fairgrounds and Churchill are a lot more similar than a lot of people think.
Yeah, they are.
This horse finished in the money, a 2nd and a 3rd, optional claimers the last 2 times out at 6 furlongs. Now we're going 6.5. But this horse definitely fits the conditions. Goes back, broke maiden and maiden special weight, then comes out and runs allowance class, goes in a stakes race, but is consistently been in the money. So this makes sense. And the horse has been in the money 6 out of 8 lifetime starts. But at Churchill has a first and a second, two times in the money out of 3 races, gets Johnny Velasquez up. But as you just mentioned, Sean, Johnny isn't riding how we normally see Johnny ride. Dallas Stewart has yet to get a win on top here at the meet. So that's why I'm kind of playing against. I think this is a good spot to play against the favorite here. But you want to include the 7 underneath. And then if we go past that one, I'm going to go to the 6 horse next. Brad Cox. We talked about how well all his horses are running. Here's another one. Breaks a maiden in a maiden special weight. Comes out in a grade 3 stakes race. Then goes to an allowance class. But the only way that this horse is in this race is because of breaking the maiden. That's the only win. So, but definitely fits. I'm sorry. So I every time I open up my my PPs, they scroll up. But maiden special weights to a grade 3 to an allowance. Yeah, and this horse is definitely class. Second off a layoff, coming in from the poly. Here's another one off the poly track, but another one who has works over dirt and looks okay. So I definitely think it's horse that you want to include underneath. When this horse has worked out in the past at Keeneland, has some pretty decent works, and they're a little bit ago, but just show me that the horse has the ability to run on dirt. Gets Luan up. Luan's riding okay, especially underneath. Luan has, out of 30 mounts, Luan has 9 underneath finishes, so doing pretty well. About 30% of the time that Luan rides, he's finishing underneath
in the money. Yep.
So once again, Sean, just to recap, so that'll be a 276. If I added one more, I'd put the 3 in at a price just because of Ben Curtis.
Okay, there you go. So this is a race again. Yeah, let me see here. Okay.
People need to stop playing my 2, though, Sean. I love that horse. So Irene, you're asking about the 8. I'm just fading the 8 here.
Yeah.
Carolina
Smoke Show. Yeah.
Yeah. Whitbeck, Whitbeckman gets Florangeroux up. I think this horse is kind of searching for, it's one of those horses searching for where she fits. Now they're adding blinkers on, which is not necessarily an angle that Beckman has much success with. It just seems like they're searching.
Yeah, going from a mile to 6.5 to
all over the place. Going to turf, going to dirt. It's just like they're trying to find where this horse fits, and I don't think they know yet. And the board, this horse is a little bit cool on the board, so I'm playing against.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't tell you to do that if you feel strongly about the horse. You know how I feel about that, but I'm just playing against based on what I see.
Yep, exactly.
What do you think here, Sean?
Yeah, I'm with you. I was on the 2. I was absolutely on the 2. The Tiger Division, Corey Lannery, Georgie Arnold. I love the race it ran against Wisconsin Gal, who's a stakes horse. The 2 races, Autumn Rhythm. Diagram. Those are all good horses that she was running against. Omaha Beach, Georgie Arnold. Route to sprint 15%. He can bring these horses, and that's really not really like a huge layoff. So this horse can run, and even in Turfway ran a huge one off the layoff. So that's not a problem for me at all. And I just think this horse, as you said, working out absolutely a ton. This Georgie Arnold loves going from routes to sprints. So that was my I was 2.
Hey, Sean, really quickly, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but they're showing the 2 on the screen, and Caitlin was just talking about the 2, and she said that while it wasn't her initial pick, it's her paddock pick.
Yeah,
So she
good.
said
Yeah.
that she walked in, and if you look at her right now, she is on the muscle, and I'm telling you, she just looks like she is owning the paddock, and that was Caitlin's words. And she just came in like she is just like, I'm here to win this race, and it's just so that was her paddock pick. I just thought it was interesting that she looks really good in the paddock, and just comes in and looks like she's feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, because this is my pick of the night too. Which is interesting. You and I both had it at 10-1.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. So you know what? What are we at? $95 right now?
Yes. Take your shot, whatever you need.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. I have her on top, but then I think like 7 horses can. You know what I'm saying? Can get, and I want us to win money on the night tonight. So you know what I'm gonna do? Hit that button, Tim. I'm ready. $5 right now. We're trying to make money on the night. I'm just going 10 across in the 2. I just think this 2 is just that good. And even if we get second, we can maybe make our money back and still have a winning night.
I like it. And even though she took early money, I mean, four to win at $10 win in place and show.
Yep.
I definitely like it.
That's
There you go. $10 win place show on the 2. Sean, just for everybody that's in the chat, if you were putting somebody under the 2, what would you play?
Yeah, okay, yeah. I would have done 2. I mean, this isn't gonna break the bank, you know what I'm saying? But I would have done 2 with the 6, 7, 8, and 12. There wouldn't have been a real, break breaker. But I would have, especially I would have done 2 with the 6, 7, and then maybe the 8 can maybe get in there for like a price play,
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be pretty formful.
Yeah, I was 276, you know that. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
right
yeah.
with you. And I threw the 3 in just because of the Ben Curtis factor underneath. But
that was pretty formful,
Yeah, I think you could go a 2 with the 6, 7 here and
feel confident.
And those are the odds on horses. But here's the thing: when you're looking at exacta probables in this race, right now the lowest is actually a 6, 7. Sean, it's not even with the 2.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
7, but it shows you they don't know where to go with the money because the 6, 7 is 15-1. But the 2, 6 is 16-1, or the 2, 7 is 16-1. The 2, 6 is 19-1. The 6 and the 7 with 2 are both sitting at about 20 and 24-1. So it's pretty close with the 2, the 6, and the 7. You could even potentially box those 3 horses if you want for a trifecta, or maybe play something like a 2, 6, 7 with a 2, 6, 7 with whoever else you like. Maybe some long shots for third.
Yeah.
But just to give you some ideas of some wagers based on how you play.
7 looks good. 6 looks good.
And the 7 is the 5-2 favorite right now.
Yeah.
Our 2 is kind of floated up a little bit to 4-1. I'm okay with that price. I love the 2.
Fine with that. Yep, I'm fine with that. 10 is a gray. Royal Princess Brittany Russell. Talk about a trainer who's doing great with her horses wherever she is. There's Louis. 12 is definitely on his toes. Austin High from Mancada, who's already won 1 today. And the 13, Rafael Bejarano for Moquette. The Long Duo. Yeah, Paul was asking for the Peter Pan That should be a good card, Paul. I would definitely tune into that card because and let me because you have what you have up there, Paul, is this weekend you have Irad, Jose, Junior. They're all in New York this weekend, so that's not a bad card at all. And the Peter Pan is always served as a very big race for the Belmont, so it's definitely one to watch out for. Many winners have come out of that race. Unlike the Wood, who has not done very well for the Derby, the Peter Pan has served as a colonial affair for us for one, but that the Peter Pan horses usually run pretty well on the Belmont. James White has got exacta box 2, 3, 6, 11. Bob Jackson's top picks are 2, 6, and 8. JG Funk, my man's got 3, 12 exacta box and 2 across on the 2. Bobby D's got 6, 12, 2 with 12, 2, 7. Good luck, Bobby. Finish strong. Paul's going with Ben Curtis. Because we are just 2 minutes away from post. Two is definitely on her toes, that's for sure. On a gorgeous night to Churchill. Thank you to everybody who's joined us tonight. 163 strong here in the last race. And we'll be doing this again next week, which will be fun. One more trip back to Churchill Downs.
Absolutely. One more week before we move on to Woodbine. So way to go, Irene. Still alive in the pick 3.
Yeah, great job, Irene.
Way to the 7.
No, that's okay, Irene, you know.
Absolutely. It's just like on Saturday when I hedged that bet because the pick 5, I was alive to 2 horses and wish I had added one more. So I put that one on top of the others and just kind of hedged a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And won $1,000.
Yeah. They said, don't. Yeah, absolutely.
We are loading in the gate, Sean.
Yes, sir. Here we go.
Not too bad with these twilight days. We start at 5 o'clock, so here we are at 8:27, and we're loading up for the last race. So
yeah,
still daylight at Churchill, even though we've got decent lights. They actually do the downs after dark on Saturdays for a few of the Saturdays during the summer meet, to where they do night racing, which is more of a party for the younger folks.
Here's Harley.
Harley is always a fan favorite.
What's Harley's little brother's name? Do we know? He's a little brother now.
Yes, I don't remember, Sean.
Oh, yeah. And they're off.
Couple horses bumped a little bit inside. No major impact from anyone. The 11 from the outside got a good start, as did the 13. The 5 just inside those. Those 3 have about a length over the 7 back and forth. It is the 10 horse just behind those with the 12 outside that one. It's another length back to the 1 on the rail. A couple more back to the 3 and the 4. And trailing the field right now is 2 and 6. The quarter went 22 and 2 up front. Right now, it's Madeline's Promise with Spotaway, the also eligible, drawing into the field at 37-1.
37-1.
Challenging just outside that one. Gerland's Empire, the 7 horse, starting to make up a little bit of ground on the top 2. Our 2 horses still well back and with lots of work to do, Sean.
He's trying, though. He's got some horse.
He's got momentum, and he's got an inside path to the front.
Come
Here
on,
he comes
Corey.
up the rail.
Oh, no.
Oh, he checked up badly. He checked up badly. He's got to get his momentum.
What an absolute shame.
He's done.
Oh,
He's done.
But look at the 7.
Look at Sean. Now he's running again, and look at how much run he has.
Yeah, seriously.
7, 4, and 3.
Oh, what an absolute terrible.
But it was a bad ride as well.
It was, yeah. No,
Corey put him behind the wall of horses that backed up right in front of him as he made his move.
He had nothing but trouble. If he just goes to the outside, he may have a little bit more.
Exactly right. He tried to go inside, and the horses inside backed up on him.
Yeah.
He should have known that those horses in front of him had been up front and were backing up. But right here, look at this point right here. If you're watching here, he starts a second run, and he's got run. He had a lot of horse.
He was loaded. Yep. And he absolutely.
But if you look at that run when it was, if he had the path and didn't get checked up, he's definitely part of the top 2.
Oh, definitely. He was flying.
And Sean, just like I talked about, what did I say about playing third just because of the Ben Curtis factor?
Yep. Yep.
You got to play the Ben Curtis factor.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's riding his ass off.
Johnny V for Dallas Stewart. Yeah, no, very solid.
I mean, I wanted the 7 to be there as a part of the top 2, and 3 is mediocre. But as far as for the favorite odds to be at that price, nothing wrong with that. 3-1 is your favorite.
Yeah.
But the 2 at 9-2 was also good value, and the 2 just got a really bad trip.
Our horse was loaded with run.
He really was.
DePaul, yeah. And Irene, she was alive to the 7. Look at that. Pick 3 for Irene. Great job.
DJ ganó 7, Rafael. Ganó 7.
Yeah, James had an exact box 2 machine here. JG Funk 312 and 2. Yeah, we all got the Zach. Yeah, definitely, folks. Put this horse Tiger Division in your stable duels, because when she runs back next, she's going to be absolutely full of run
for sure. I mean, she had it tonight.
Yeah.
She just got a bad trip.
Yeah.
And I'm not just blaming Corey. She just got a bad trip. She had bad traffic. So
bad trap. Yeah. That was bad luck.
For sure.
Johnny V coming down from New York. Did anybody have the 7 out there? I don't think so. Do you guys go to Saratoga? I went up last year for Belmont and one random Saturday in August last year. It was a lot of fun. I do, Andrew. I'm only 3 hours away, so it's a little easier for me than Tim. Tim's down in Kentucky, so it's a little harder to get to Saratoga. I'm only 3 hours away, so I don't have an excuse.
Yeah, Saratoga is actually a track I've never been to. I've been to a lot of tracks in the U.S., and that's one I have yet to hit, but I think I crossed that one off this summer.
Yep. Love to have them up there. Yep.
Waiting for the payouts here.
Tim, would you say is there one track to concentrate on Saturday?
I don't think that this is a huge Saturday, Sean. You know,
It's
the way
not,
things
yeah.
work out with this time of year, as far as the cards and everything,
Yeah, yeah.
everything kind of changes a little bit. So there are some different tracks for sure, as far as those tracks that are running this weekend.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, yeah.
But no, nothing that stands out for me, and nothing that, to be completely honest, nothing that I'll be playing at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Because I can see here, Paul. Let me quickly just do this for you here, my good man. Saturday's what, the 10th?
Yes.
Okay. You got all stakes races up in New York, so you're going to have all the big, all the big.
That's obviously the big card, but
yeah, all you're going to have all the Flavian, Franco, Dylan, Javier, Joel, Johnny V, Irad. Yeah, they're all the big boys. So Paul, if you're focusing on one, obviously Churchill's always a great track, but I would focus on New York. I would say, because there's so many big races up there this weekend. Did we go official? Oh, Andrew, not a bad track to start, my friend. We went official. Okay, there we go.
I was waiting to see. I guess we did because they're showing the replay.
Yeah. Man, I'm watching the replay right now. She was ready to go around the turn.
Yeah, I was trying to watch what tracks. Obviously we got Belmont at the Big A, and I was trying to look at everything else. So everybody loves some Chucktown. Evangeline's running, and if you've watched us the last few lounges, I've grown to really like Evangeline and their racing. So.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah. But definitely focus. Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, the focus is going to be New York. There's no doubt about that. But
yeah, oh yeah.
We're actually running at Pimlico as well, Sean.
Yeah, that's my track. If anyone,
so we're opening weekend at Pimlico.
Yeah. If anyone watches Pimlico this weekend, my girl Forrest Boyce is amazing on the turf.
Hey, and here's one thing I would say is that the opening Saturday at Pimlico is always good to watch, because it'll give you a sense for the following Saturday, which, as we know, is Preakness Day. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it doesn't hurt to watch the track and see how it's playing and get an idea.
Right. Exactly.
How things are working out, so you can kind of handicap the Preakness card as it comes out.
Exactly. Yep.
But the best races are for sure at Belmont at the Big A.
No doubt.
All right, Sean, you want to close it out for us?
Yes, sir. So thank you to everybody who joined us tonight. Still 100 and something strong. We so thank you guys as always for joining us. You make our job so much easier, and we greatly appreciate you. And have a great weekend. And Tuesday, a little double action this week. Finally, Tuesday, Assiniboia. What are we? 8:30. What are we? We'll let you know what the time is when we're coming.
Follow us on X and Trust the Prophets, and we'll put out the time. But I believe it's around 8:30 normally.
Yep, and then we'll be right back here next Thursday for more Churchill Downs.